Yes.
kind of.
There we go.
She refers to herself as the toxicologist.
Excellent. That's exactly what we need.
Good branding is what that is.
She needs to provide a way that we can infuse Vicus's psychic daggers with her venom somehow. That's the ticket.
I feel like
Psychic
you would have to
poison.
poison my mind for that to work somehow.
Look, for the toxicologist, anything is poisonable.
All right.
Yes.
I mean, I guess you'll take it as a
poisonable.
challenge. though.
With enough
Yeah.
poison, anything is poisonable.
With enough poison, people will die.
That's the hope.
It simply just something matters the quantity she has to produce. This will be fine.
Speaking of which, that poison she gave me, what was that poison? Because I actually never checked that.
You still don't know.
Oh, I guess we'll find out later.
Just some nasty stuff in her arsenal.
Oh, that's nice.
And the only scary part about it, of course, is the fact that she says it's not what she's got is not deadly enough yet. So what
Checks
the final
out.
result is, who knows? I'm just going ahead and making sure Sheep has all the possible wild shapes he might need. And it's just amusing. It is amusing because I'm just filling up his player character folder with just animals.
It's good.
I think we're all here.
What? We're here? We have people?
I have indeed connected successfully. Is my color really yellow? Has it always been yellow?
Don't know. You can change it if you want to.
Yeah, I think so.
Think so.
Not
I don't
great.
remember. I don't really look at other people's colors.
Never do I.
We don't really use
That's
anything.
very-
Like...
They're progressive.
Is it progressive or just the right thing to do? Let's not get into that.
I think lazy is the word you're looking for, Chief.
Lazy, okay.
I can't be bothered out of sheer laziness. And what is to say because I just can't bother.
Just a lack of effort.
Yeah, a complete lack of effort makes me the most.
The nicest person here.
Yeah.
I don't care enough to not care.
Equal opportunities because I physically don't care enough.
Truly a saint of our age.
Look upon my field of fucks and behold,
Yeah.
it is barren.
Yeah,
Well,
and
everyone
that
gets
is-
the same opportunity with me. None, because I don't
Yeah,
care.
exactly. hate everyone equally.
Well, there you go, Sheep. You have your collection of giant animals now in your folder view.
He's like a magician with a hat. Pulls out the scorpion.
I'm the hat.
You are a hat. Mad hat.
Yes, welcome back everyone to Blood Bonds, A Tale of the Ashen Court.
Thanks.
Been a little bit since our last session, but we won't let that stop us, will we?
No.
So, the last time the group headed down into the deep depths, well, of the Spy Master's lair. The group deciding to confront Belmont, the extremely elusive alchemist's, his own hideout, sieging it despite the large collection of monsters he had in his collection, including his beloved dual bolts, which, well, weren't a particular threat, but
The dual bolts.
look, they had feelings.
Yes? Question mark?
Look, just because they couldn't decide between them what their feelings were, doesn't change that they had feelings.
I mean, I'm sure agony and confusion are feelings. That's true.
And on that wonderful note, the group successfully killed Belmont and took the choice to destroy the lab, ensuring that whatever was going on there cannot be reproduced. including, of course, the destruction of the giant brain in a jar.
Oh, yes.
With that, you also rescued a prisoner. A wandering man of the world, Mr. Isaac Redtown.
Indeed.
With that, you have fled back through the portal and arrived back in your glorious city of Sorkai. The portal being collapsed behind you. As frankly, Mikara just needs a break now. She held that portal open for you for like an hour. She's going to have a nap.
You can go and have a nap.
Power nap. Go for it.
Fine, she's an elf. She only needs 2 hours to be fully rested.
Yeah, I'm bleeding from every orifice. I need sleep.
Yeah, I could do with a nap as well.
Some of you may need longer than 2 hours to fully recover, but that's fine. But the group arrives back and presumably will take a chance to give yourselves long rests, maybe see the local clergy, or alternatively just check yourself into the infirmary. A place that Ceres has seen far too much of over the last... I mean, technically for her, I suppose, years, but...
Time is not important in this scenario.
Time is no longer important for you in general.
No. In fact, time's just very helpful.
I think we once we get back, everyone retreat out to their different places of rest a little bit. I'm not sure where we should stash Viella, honestly, but
The tower, I think, is a safe bet.
yeah, the tower. Was there there was a lab in the tower? Question mark.
There's everything
I
in
mean,
the
it's
tower.
a place that not many people are allowed to go into,
Yeah.
and it's a little bit more less like, hey, let's shackle you in darkness forever.
You can ask her to stay on the upper floors of the tower where very few people go, if you want.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's safe. I think
Give her a
that's
little bit more, like, better working conditions than.
As the upper several floors, I mean, if you want to, you can leave her on the upper 2 floors for the faculty and up, which originally the faculty and archmages floors. Since that's behind a secret door, no one outside your group and Mikara know how to get in there.
Sure,
Yeah,
that
sure.
sounds
That
good.
sounds good. Also, she will be asked to make herself at home and also provide a list of things that she might need to set up a laboratory here.
Yeah.
She
We
will happily provide you with an inventory that's needed.
I don't remember if we like necessarily negotiated properly with her, but I remember I rolled like a crit on my.
You rolled to convince her to turn her to your side.
Yeah.
Now, what you do with her is up to you. But
yeah. Maybe she can give us maybe we'll give her like a rundown of our current situation, the war, and then ask if she has any interesting concoctions that might help in said war effort.
She will present such information. She'll present once she gets herself settled. She'll provide such information to upcoming meetings.
Perfect. And yeah, whatever she needs.
She may have to do a polymorph on herself before she attends the meeting, just in case.
That would be preferable, yes. And anything she might need, bring a list and we'll see to it. We have alchemists and wizards and all manners of weird people on staff, so I'm sure we can bring a lot to her if she needs.
Viala is it's definitely a very powerful ally, though a fickle one to have in your on employ. Very much as the feels you got from her before, slightly mad scientist vibes.
Mm-hmm.
She cares about her research. If you're funding her research, she will happily follow your orders and do as you ask.
All right.
But of course, research. What is she researching? Something toxicology related, which
yes.
And obviously, research can be expensive, so we will see.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll need some sort of oversight of what she's doing, so we know that the resources are being put to good use and not just, buying like fancy rats for her snake hair to eat.
Create a PowerPoint presentation every week.
Yep.
Progress.
Yep. Progress reports.
She would like to disdain these as being a waste of her academic time.
You know, welcome to academia, I guess.
Yeah.
You're
Yes, you
corporate
can
now,
say.
lady. Or I guess you're governmental employee, so you work in a bioweapons lab now, so...
Is the bioweapon lab?
Yeah, you need government oversight. There's always like an old admiral or something who runs the bioweapons lab. So maybe when we make Sir Turtle the admiral, he can run that for us.
Yes.
I thought Sir Turtle has been stricken by your decision.
My decree, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he might be reinstated. Who knows?
He needs to prove himself before he gets anywhere near power.
Right.
I mean, right now you're not even willing to acknowledge him as a retainer, so he doesn't even. So currently he's just on his own.
Poor turtle.
Yeah.
I can be your retainer. He's just not going to be on any goddamn council meetings.
The problem is the retainer is still a status of like acknowledgement and like
Yeah, he hasn't done anything to be acknowledged. That's the thing.
as well as the fact that being a retainer does come with admittedly minor but a small paycheck. And I don't feel like you don't really feel like paying the turtle at the moment, so
He seems to have patrons as it is.
he's just smoozing up every random noble he can find.
Maybe his
Somehow,
patrons
yes,
can pay for his seat. Who knows? Go fund me the turtle.
That's just true politics. He's lobbying for a seat.
There you go.
How
That's
mu-
it.
How much would it cost to fund the turtle? Ask him for a friend.
We will see.
Steele's gonna set up some sort of like shell company to fund the turtle.
Yeah.
Shell company, nice.
Yeah.
I just would like to confirm. Are you officially going to allow Viola to count as a retainer, so she'll receive passive funding constantly from you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Yeah, provisionally, she needs to produce something useful. But if she does, I will be happy. Like we're collecting collectors of weirdness, and if she can produce useful things, then why not? That is why she is a retainer, and the turtle is not.
She has a marketable talent called poison.
Turtle?
Viola,
No,
she
she
marketable
does.
for poison.
Turtle has a secret dagger that he pulls out.
A dagger in the back would do it.
Exactly.
Uh,
This is Sir Turtle. As
turns
he
out not
charges
everyone
you.
has a shell, so
Yeah, he charges you at 1 square per hour.
anyway.
I'll just go ahead and mark her on the sheet then. A special effect from having Viola on your as a retainer. A mortal man can be shifting you 10 points more towards dread.
Yay.
Because even if the public doesn't actually know about her fully yet, her very presence is definitely a loom over. It's going to be a loom over the court.
Excellent.
Wait, so we don't have anyone in the party that is against the dread anymore?
Not really.
What do you mean anymore? Do we have someone who's against it?
Well, yeah, there was a dragonborn that wasn't too keen on the
Thorn was
dread.
like
I think he
marginally
was
against it.
neutral.
He was, yeah, I suppose.
Well, we don't yet know Isaac's opinion about that matter. So,
It's
let's
true.
not be hasty.
Detect alignment. Lawful good. My God, it needs to go.
Would that really be the worst alignment you could think of?
My God.
I mean,
neutral
it would be
good?
because one lawful good guy was already.
Probably neutral good is even worse because at least lawful good you can be like, hey, they are heretics and they need to be punished, and you can be like, yeah, you're right.
Right. Oh yeah, just familiarizing myself with the projects we decided on last.
Oh, yeah, need to bring that up.
As it stands, so everyone goes off. Everyone can take like proper long rest and heal your characters up and such.
Oh sweet.
Well, you say that, but like Isaac following you guys through the portal doesn't really know where to go. He'll
Isaac technically going to take a long rest if the group's going to let him. Depends if they're going to chuck him in prison or going to.
I mean,
Don't think prison.
How's her?
Yeah, we
how's
should
Isaac
probably-
like in the the scribe area. There's room. There's chairs. There's stuff.
He's a provisional ally. How about that?
Mhm.
The master of the scribe can give eye of it.
We need. I feel we need to have a talk with Isaac here a little bit, actually.
Would you, in that case, would you like to? If you would like, you can take Isaac to the throne room and just have a private conversation.
Yeah, take him to the height of the power.
We will, we will probably. I think we adjourn for the day. When we return, everyone can go and rest up. Isaac can stay in the
From the guest
I don't
rooms,
know.
as it
The
were.
guest quarter, one of the
guest room.
guest,
Yeah.
one of the guest rooms, I
Yeah,
suppose.
because there's a whole bunch of guest rooms in the diplomats' quarters. So
Yeah, we set them up, didn't we? Yeah, so we have.
did.
Yeah,
They're
there's
very
plenty of,
fancy
you guys,
guest
plenty
you
of
guys
rooms.
get a special choice to make like guest quarters there for the diplomats. So Ceres has plenty of like extra rooms under her building.
Yeah, we got a room. And they're all under me.
Because you just decided to give Ceres more power.
It's always a good choice.
But yeah, the following day, he will be summoned to the throne room. Asked.
All right. We get a rest then.
Yes, everyone feel free to take a long rest for yourselves.
Hooray!
For the moment, I have only summoned the PCs to the throne room. If you wish to have any of the NPCs or other characters summoned, feel free to let me know.
No,
Should be fine.
But unless otherwise specified, the guards are keeping the doors shut, so only you guys are in here.
I guess Seal takes over the scribe and duty for this one. Sure.
It's not an official council meeting, so it doesn't necessarily need notes.
I need material for project.
Sounds ominous.
I mean, you know what the project is, so you know.
Oh yeah.
well, Amanas has rested up. Arklin has scrubbed his plate mail. So it is now shining, and the weird like snarling demon faces and whatnot that adorn it, and the spikes are very pointed and very polished.
As the morning light reflects off of it slightly.
Exactly. I need gauntlets with each knuckle has like a skull on it. That sort of look. In that case, I might as well look down from his dais towards Isaac. Just look him over to see that what would Isaac look like in this situation? What's his
Now he's
mood?
had a chance to clean up and no longer is a prisoner.
Yeah, Isaac still chooses to very much dress in the adventuring gear that you found him in. Now just a bit cleaned up. Has various tools and pouches still with him. As he walks towards the throne, he doesn't. He strolls basically, looking around, hands behind his back as if a tourist, sort of looking around. Particularly interested in really most of the architecture, really, rather than perhaps Amanas's imposing form. But he will, of course, pay the proper respect, stopping some distance away. Giving like a nod as a greeting, which may not be the most appropriate, but also doesn't seem to be meant as being disrespectful either. So he's sort of, with a fairly, content expression, waits to see what the hell is going to happen.
All right, fair enough. Amanas will. Maybe he's a bit disappointed at this lack of respect, but then again, this man seems to be some sort of hobo. So, maybe he is not used to kings. That might be true. But nevertheless, Amanas will motion like a gloved hand towards him and say, "Well, Sir Isaac, or just Isaac, if I believe you preferred. I have summoned you here to ascertain your intentions." Yeah. frowns slightly down at Isaac. And he says, "We did save you from the clutches of that mad alchemist, and you did help us battle against some of his horde. For that you have my appreciation. Now, however, you are free, so to speak, and my interest now is what do you intend to do with that freedom? You are, of course, free to leave. I have no reason to hold you prisoner. But as I mentioned before, we are in a war of conquest and of righteousness. And I have my experience, I should say, is that the diversity of our group is part of our strength. A lot of strange people with strange abilities and strange inclinations have gathered. We are stronger for it. And so I am curious about you and what you intend to do. And then he sort of leans back a little bit and makes a motion towards Isaac that he can speak.
Isaac scratches his beard, looking around as if pondering that question for the very first time. He says, "Well, way I see it, I do owe you one. I was in a bit of a pickle. It wasn't quite a nightmare yet, although, I mean, the things they did over there certainly were nightmarish. And there's still the issue with I didn't really manage to do the thing I was out there to do. Alcent is still doing something so awfully wrong that, I mean, it even motivated me to do something about it. And I haven't yet. And as far as I understood this war of yours, it is against those very people."
Indeed. Alcend
Wrong.
has wronged us and overreached, to say the least, and need to be punished.
From what I've seen that their people seem to do, there might be far more awfulness going on than I could have even anticipated. So, as far as I'm concerned, on a very basic level, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, first of all. And on top of that, the fact that I do owe you one, and also the fact that I don't really have a permanent abode as of right now. I don't see a reason to leave quite yet. I also may have taken the liberty to explore the city a bit. It is, quite frankly, very interesting, to say the least. I remember this place being mostly ruined until recently. Am I wrong there? Am I thinking of a different place?
You are correct. We seized it several months ago and have spent a lot of time and effort to rebuild and restructure and open up trade routes and establish a seat of power. We have put a lot of our time and money into this place because we believe it is a worthy seat of power for what we need to do. I trust then that if you explored the town, perhaps you also talked to some of the people here, or you overheard some conversation. If so, I hope you have gotten an idea of who we are and what type of ruler I am.
I have to admit I did not. I'm not exactly a people person. Doesn't matter. I believe you, absolutely. I mean, you're
Frowns at
certainly
Isaac.
encouraging a certain ambience around yourself, so that seems quite obvious what's going on here. And I'm sure your quest is righteous, so you no need to convince me. But this city, there's some hefty magics going on, isn't there?
Yes. There is. The city is built with and is, how to say it, suffused with a magical substructure that emanates from this palace and from the Mage Tower. Much of its special properties are operated using the tower.
Yes. Very interesting. I mean, some of my, how do I even call them? Colleagues, I suppose, may have the opinion that cities are a bit of an affront to nature, or at least the opposite in a sense. I very much think the opposite. I mean, survival is in everyone's mind, animal and people alike, and what's more an expression of survival as building a structure to keep yourself safe. I think, however, that this might be one of the most curious expressions of that particular direction. I would most likely, even if we hadn't met like this, requested to investigate a bit, see what the city is all about.
You are certainly unlike other druids that I have come across. I had a colleague and a friend who gave his life in this war. But he was more of a... I'm not sort of grimaces to try to find a word. A traditionalist, I suppose. Venerated the forest and the trees, and, well, there is even a grove behind this palace dedicated to him. But you...
My circumstances were different. At least my beginnings, so to speak. I was, suppose still am, very much a city boy. Of course, my path took me to the circle and eventually outside, exploring around, but I think I've managed to marry those opposing, perhaps ideologies in a sense quite successfully, I'd like to think.
What happened to you? Why aren't you still with them? As far as I understand, the druids are mystics and, if you will, rather insular and isolationist.
Like sort of shrugs. As I've said before, I'm not a people person. I think I may have made some enemies, and in the end, I didn't really feel at home there either. So I decided to just leave.
Amanas frowns, feeling like there's more to this story, as he imagines no one just sort of, I should probably leave, and then just walks away. But then again, Isaac seems a bit weird, so maybe. He nods and says, well, you proved yourself in battle. I have no doubt of your abilities. And if you're communing with the spirits and the primal energies are similar to my late friends, then I believe you could be quite the asset. If I were to sojourn into another excursion, infiltrations or the type of commando missions we have run to ease the war effort, would you acquiesce to join us on such endeavors, or do you prefer to stay here and take in the scenery?
Oh no, I can make myself useful for sure. I mean, if you're offering me a nice place to stay and presumably pay, he sort of probes, then surely I can find it in my heart to assist you properly. Especially, and perhaps definitely, if it is against Elsend.
It's not. If you provide a service and are good at what you do, you will have a place at my court. Alcend is the enemy and is definitely on the priority list to handle. Taking out the spy master and his strange laboratory has hopefully set back his war effort quite a bit. Losing his intelligence network must hurt. And from what I saw in that place, all that equipment's probably very pricey. I am willing to give you a probational seat on the council for you to prove yourself. If you do so, that seat and I shall also say, do not betray us or show disloyalty. Then that seat might become permanent for you, as long as you desire it, of course. I do not hold slaves.
No, I was about to say something like, oh, it would be very difficult to hold me even if you tried, except I was recently held quite thoroughly, so my ego is a bit bruised there.
Nods. Very well. In that case, I would require or ask of you that you swear an oath to me and to my kingdom. If I am to let you in on the inner circle here in such a short notice, I need some assurances that you will do your best to provide service, advice, and do so honorably and honest.
Sure. Seems fine.
All right. Too bad I don't have the Gaius spell. Yeah. Amanas will then ask, basically for Isaac to swear exactly what he asked for, like sound advice to the best of his ability, and also swear not to betray Amanas or his interest for as long as the war against Olsend rages. After that, it can be reevaluated if Isaac wants to stick around or not. If not, he can leave. If he wants to stick around, a more proper oath of fealty is probably in its place at that. If he wants to remain on the seat of the council.
Isaac will basically say whatever you want him to say, although he does pause at sound advice, interjecting that sometimes he makes he does silly things quite intentionally, so would you still consider that sound advice? Or just advice?
It is very much based on the outcome, I think. So if he is like, aha, I have bought peanuts for the raid, and I was like, that is silly. But then
No, it's,
secretly there was like an elephant inside, and the peanuts lured the elephant to break down the walls. Then that was sound advice, even if
it's more about the definition of the word sound, because climbing a mountain is not a sound idea. You do it exactly because it's not sound, you know?
Amanas does not know. He doesn't do anything so silly and frivolous. If he climbs a mountain, it's because he needs to get up there.
Either way, best ability I can do, and best intent too, and no disloyalty and all that. I'm good with that.
Fair enough. So be it. And with that taken care of, yeah, you could pick a seat for Isaac on the council.
I'll pick a seat. I'll take the most comfy looking chair.
And on official position,
And
on
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 official council position, yes.
where would you like me to slot you in just for confirmation?
I think the Grand Seer position is the one that Isaac would go for.
That makes a lot of sense for Isaac.
All right.
No, he will be the High Admiral.
Oh, we still have no boats.
We will get you to a boat in 2 to 3 years.
To be fair, like his ability scores and skills would actually fit that quite well.
That's good.
But maybe
True.
not.
Isaac Redhallen, you are true neutral. And let me enter in your stats. Your constitution is what? That's a lot of constitution.
It is.
And you are proficient in both skills, I think. Yes. And then I need to add in special circumstances for you, which is fine. You're a PC.
I think our proficiency bonus went up recently as well. or something went up recently. I
True,
can't
yeah,
remember.
it's +4 now.
+4
Yes.
now, so that might change. Some
Everyone
things.
goes up. Hooray!
Right.
Yeah. Do. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to double check the score later, but I think you're at 17 right now for your score of the council, which is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Neat.
Pretty competent.
Turns out this is the council position which you kind of fit quite well. Good for Isaac.
Yeah, good to have a seer. Can scry in bones and whatnot.
Yeah.
Look at the stars.
However, Isaac does his scrying.
How does Isaac does his scrying?
Well, not only does he scry for secrets, he secretly scries for secrets.
Oh, I see.
Secret scrying.
Yes, Isaac has sworn an oath to you, and the council now has all of its mystical slots filled.
We got a set bonus. Oh, or do we?
Not quite.
That bonus. I like it.
With that, Isaac is inducted in and is able to be given a bit of a tour around. The servants all told to treat Isaac as a member of the inner circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just generally, Isaac having a tour of the city as a whole, so you can kind of take in fully the very unusual place that is Sorkai.
I'll certainly enjoy a tour, although he has his own ways of exploring places very differently.
You may end up leaving the servants to go do it yourself, I see.
Yes.
I imagine he's more of an urban explorer than he is like a touring guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure he knows his ways around the streets.
And under the streets. Finally, we can have someone to like survey the sewers.
That might be one of the places he actually goes quite early, that's true.
Hmm.
But part of the sewers do need renovations in them, but
The rats have secrets.
very well then. But the group gets back then and spends the next several days kind of trying to get Isaac incorporated in, as well as kind of catching up on your own business. Things are going well. You receive news that as you instructed, your forces are currently pushing on both fronts on the war theatre at the moment. Down the West Road Valley, currently the Duchess's forces are pushing on our scent. And at the Freyfrost border, Eliza's forces are pushing in there to try and force the gate open from the inside, alongside the spies that were provided from Vickers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Operations seem to be underway, and you haven't heard of much issue so far.
Yes. I suppose the question really, I don't know if we have council stuff now first, but the question after that is where to go next, like where to strike, really.
That is an interesting question.
I
Good
mean,
question, yeah.
we're still very much at war, aren't we? So I suppose it depends what
How the war's
happens
going.
in the
Yeah.
week. Yeah, like
We have presumably dealt him quite a blow while taking out his spy master.
Yes,
I can't imagine
these
his
are ramifications of which may take a few days before you can see exactly what ramifications will be.
As for targets, there will still be the location that Isaac originally intended to hit.
Which was
That was investigating some sort of a very strange and brutal summoning ritual for elementals.
Ooh.
where was that located?
Isaac, I can fill that in for you, Sheep.
Yeah, go for it.
Isaac located one of the ancillary mage towers on the outskirts of Alsen's land. It's pretty deep into his realm, but it's not like on top of on top of the main fortress. Yeah, a lot of elemental energy was being drawn to this just single tower.
Well, That does sound like a place to go, certainly.
It is pretty deep inside, so moving on it now, you would have no real reinforcements if you went up by yourselves now. Maybe it's fine, but
Is there a place we would need reinforcements, or is it a place we could potentially reach as a small group?
as a small group, you might be able to reach it. But obviously, you won't have necessarily the options of pulling upon, other help if you need it.
I mean, it's a tower. How big can it be?
I mean, that's so much not the issue. As a small group to raid inside, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Just more a case of, of course, you do have to get to the tower in the middle of his territory.
That's fine, I feel.
But that is an option.
Well, I mean,
choice
yeah.
to march out immediately, or if you'd rather speak, or if you'd rather kind of hold back and wait to see what happens with your forces.
If that was something that was ongoing and urgent in Isaac's mind, then that might be something worth investigating.
As far as Isaac is concerned, that was the thing I was investigating because it felt real bad even from a distance.
But is it still ongoing, or is it more like a crime scene investigation?
Neither would be worthwhile. It'll definitely tend towards the latter if we keep waiting. Although it would be less of a crime scene and more of a, oh god, there's an elemental attacking our army now. How could we have stopped this? You know?
Sure. I mean, yeah, if it's a bad thing and it's ongoing, then yeah, investigating it seems reasonable. But if it was something that happened 2 weeks ago and all evidence is now gone, that seems less urgent.
It feels ongoing, though it does not. Though to Isaac, it does not feel like it's reached its apex yet. So
Fair enough. That is the place to go then, probably, unless something urgent comes up in the war effort.
Isaac is able to keep a nice monitor on it, at least if nothing else, which is good for you. Let's see here. Just kind of quickly double checking through the notes of things going on. And also mute Discord because that's someone just going beep beep. Go. Obviously, during this time, all the council courses are also their own various projects also going on at this time. You do hear news. Eliza's festival is going quite well that you asked her to host.
Oh, nice.
As you actually do wake up one of the following few days with hearing cries of jubilation and the sound of minstrels in the street. Rodrigo seems to be involved once again.
Hey.
It seems whenever festivities are around, he finds a way in.
Fair
Really a
enough.
local celebrity in some regards. I don't know if it's a good kind of celebrity, but celebrity. With that, though, actually, one of the council will want to speak with you, so we'll cover that now. It's two of the councillors actually want to speak to you. Very well.
Oh yeah. Good old Hoot Hoot.
Your treasurer and steward come to the council meeting. Well, come to approach not the council meeting. Approach his lordship at the throne. Seemingly in good spirits, though minorly bickering as they walk in. Though it's a bit of an interesting conversation given Rochelle is having to try and defend herself versus both the familiar and Percy, who are both arguing. Hoot Hoot seems very articulated.
I see. Now, Hoot's different opinions is no longer hidden from me, as I have Isaac, who can probably interpret what the strange owl says.
The owl is extremely intelligent. Isaac can definitely see as it comes in.
Most
Yeah.
owls are, I see, nods sagely.
Hmm.
They see things. They know things.
I see. Birds of mystery.
You actually notice there is something unusual about the owl. It's you can see like a small elemental wisp clinging to it. Only you see that.
Owl possessed. Ooh.
But they both greet his lordship on the throne. Your Grace, we bring tidings of good news.
Ooh. I do like good news.
There has been a surge in immigration along with, well, just increased spending. It seems that Sorkai is continuing to grow quite well, actually. I do think we're actually going to have a bit of a surplus at the start of our next meeting.
Oh.
Mechanically letting you know, the base amount of money that Sorkai is producing has increased by 2 points per month.
Hey.
More money.
I love money.
Money.
Which is good because, you have quite a lot of expenses, so it's good to have a bit more money coming in.
Yeah.
As Percy also grins to you. Moreover than that, I have been working with a certain mana-hungry cat that you have wandering your wilderness.
True.
Oh yeah, how is that doing?
Isaac perks up. Excuse me.
You know, we set the cat against the army, like the
Does the
spellcasters.
Dwemer cat have a name?
No,
Doesn't need one.
need one.
I feel like it should have one.
I think I asked it and it didn't give me one. So.
I was like, fuck you. Just
Yeah.
left.
Regardless, he will inform you that the Dwemer cat has been extremely helpful in helping prospect around your crystal mines.
Hey.
Yay.
And through Percy's ingenuity of practical matters and the cat, the crystal mines have managed to dig deeper than they had before,
Ooh.
also increasing the income of the crystal mines by 2.
Oh, sweet.
Yes, good.
More income, yes. Money.
Which is quite nice. That's effectively doubled your monthly income. No,
Oh, God.
It's very useful.
Our
You have a
income
lot of
is so
expenses.
bad right now.
You have a lot of monthly expenses, so it's still.
Yeah.
As they both kind of look to each other, then, and you then sense like a bit of the tension in the air.
Uh-huh.
Given we've got an influx of additional people, and the mines are, of course, needing more people to help mine them. Yes. But as it stands, we could start thinking of more public works projects to send around, focusing how exactly we want to develop Sorkai as a whole. Do we want to focus on being a bigger trade center? A matter of production could be good. Producing more crystals. That means we can also then produce magical items better. You've got this big tower and all, and a library. I'm sure your people can figure it out. On the other hand, a better centre of trade would be good both diplomatically and far safer than excess toxic magic production. The two of them seem to be in a disagreement here which way to go with this.
Mm-hmm. I mean, on one hand, I trust Rochelle's judgment quite a bit. On the other hand, there is certainly a point to like go deep into what you are specialized in. You know what I mean? Like no one else has a tower like ours. So
Yeah, even among Major's towers, your one is particularly unique. So.
yeah. So going into that and leaning on that seems good to me. Like because then we are, we're leveraging our uniqueness and doing stuff that no one else can do quite easily. More trade is always good though, and it's very stable. And having more people being able to come and go here would be nice. However, we are out of the way. It's difficult to be a trade hub when you are like at the top of the world, pretty much.
Probably why we should focus more on high quality than quantity. Magic does seem to be the way to go with that.
What would the magical focus entail? Like, what would we get out of it?
Percy will go over the various benefits in his mind, including just firstly, of course, the higher quality. By having more people working in the mines, we can potentially increase the size of our crystal mines in time faster. Which he views as being very useful, as well as the fact that, from a mechanical point of view, for you also, the additional people working in the mana mine may also help your just overall capacity of mana that you can hold in the council's archive, the council storage.
Right.
Essentially giving you an extra block on, because currently you're capped at maximum 10 mana per turn. You could end a turn at 11 mana.
Right.
Alternatively, Rochelle's focus would probably actually put a little bit more direct money at the immediate time.
We like money.
But obviously, it depends if you want to focus on the power or the wealth. Because Rochelle's idea is focusing more on stable trade goods and, trying to encourage more caravans to come here, setting up a nice little trade center and such.
Right. I mean, if the choice is between more money income and more mana storage capacity, the income seems more useful, at least for now, to me.
In the long term, I would say so, but in the short term, since we are in a war, having more magic to throw around seems useful.
Right. But would we generate more magic or just be able to store more magic?
Store more, I assume.
Technically, the crystal would also produce one additional mana per turn as well, on top of what on top of whatever your archmage is producing.
All right, so one extra capacity and one extra per turn. So it's not bad.
Yeah, basically,
But
the question is
yeah,
where to focus your workforce as it stands. So,
I mean, then again, our income is really bad. Like, it's
Yeah.
not great. So maybe
Yeah, I think income kind of sucks.
like we can't even build any of our stuff without being destitute. So I feel maybe we should focus on getting a stable income and then focus on something else later
We have a lot of projects we would like to
do, but we don't have the
invest
money.
in.
Yeah. I don't know. What does everyone else think?
I think income is a solid choice. We can set up the trade network, and whenever we build the harbor town, for example, we can move more trade in there and then focus this down for magic. Where focusing now on the magic, sure, is beneficial, but might be also not the thing easily changed. Where the trade is more easily changed in the future, or could be changed.
I mean, the way I see it is that just because you don't focus 100% on magic doesn't mean that it is still one of the city's strengths that could be, shown to the people. If you make this like a trading hub and just a destination that is worthwhile and famous, you get connections, you get people, and a kingdom runs on people and not on magic, as far as I'm aware.
It seems then that we are unanimous. Trade it is.
Rochelle will thank you for your judgment, and we'll take her leave with Percy to make the arrangements for all of these new people coming in. In doing so, this will actually boost Sorkai's base income, base trade income.
Nice.
An additional 2.
All right.
We need some income multipliers here.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. If you
I mean, I
could.
will say this one little meeting has gone from you having a total income at the start of each turn of +4 to +10.
True.
It's
Yeah.
good.
It's definite improvement.
It's an improvement.
How we can get that library in when I die?
Yeah. As it stands right now, the problem is a lot of Sorkai's land is barren.
Yeah.
Like you have a lot of land up there, but there's not a lot of like things built on it. For example, building the port. Once the port's in place, the port starts generating trade of its own. So
Yeah. Did we
we're
ever
beginning.
get that Earth Shaper like PhD wizard man to come along, or is he still not coming?
there is an academic. There is in fact an academic in the realm who did come along. Who has an interest in like architect, like magically forming architecture.
Yes. Might make stuff cheaper. If I can use this research, maybe.
It is a potential research project. I will go ahead and add onto a projects list for you.
Sweet, because I feel reducing costs of this stuff is a good idea, and we have a lot of magic, so we might as well use it. Because we're not going to use it for something, it's wasted. So
there you go. Research magical construction techniques 1.
yay.
So there are multiple. It's a tree now.
Yeah. Skill tree is opened up now.
It's good. Still not. Still good that you've got a nice little sizable bonus to income there as the city is slowly growing.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
It's fine. It's just Jonas coughing coming through mine as well. We're not both coughing. It's just Jonas.
Now,
In stereo.
Now, there's also other effects to your trade that I need to bring in here. Firstly, your trade deal with Reichhold is technically now expired because Reichhold no longer is owned by Ander anymore.
Right. True.
It's technically now under the control of the Duchess.
I mean, would she be willing to
Continue
that
to
deal?
trade.
She would be quite interested in opening up a strong trade route with you all, especially as you guys had also decided to help build the tunnel through as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason. So now it's actually under hold of someone who were building a tunnel in one of their territories. Surely it can be used better.
Improve that trade.
Yeah. Because you don't have to be like, oh, now I have to move into her territory. No, it's all hers now. So it should be quicker.
As such, the Duchess does actually send one of her representatives to the court to start laying out the negotiations for the trade.
All right.
Since you'll be opening up direct border routes now on 2 fronts for her. And part of the question comes down here of how open do you want the border to be for trade?
I mean, we like trade.
True, but we're also suspicious of her like backstabbing us constantly. So
I'm
not
suspicious about
super-
the Duchess,
Yeah.
or other people that might cross the
I mean,
border.
she's definitely not the biggest danger we have currently. It's more of a thing of, oh, she might bite us in the ass later. But to be honest, I don't really mind much that, because if she does, we'll just crush her. So
I like
like a bymaster.
like remembering the talk I've had with her. I have a fair feeling that she won't try anything. She realizes that we are her best chance to effect the change that she is after. And she has no reason to undermine us, quite the opposite. So I am quite sure of her intentions currently, and that they are beneficial to us. So if open trade is a question of trust, I trust her quite a bit. I am willing to trust her quite a bit until she gives me reason not to.
As it stands,
And then, as you say, then we kill her.
there are kind of 3 approaches you can take here. You can go with a completely open trade border, but basically you're not going to put people there to like guard the border or anything. Like merchants can come through perfectly freely and just do their trade however they want to. This will probably have the most, like the maximum amount of trade, since you're not like tariffing the border directly and you're just letting people come through. In doing so, you'll get probably the most amount of money out of it, but also it's probably going to it's a minor security risk on the border, given it's fully open for anyone to go through. Could be a problem if you don't trust her, as well as also increasing. Probably it's also going to bring a little bit of crime from the big city in your direction.
Right. I think if there's a middle option, I think that's probably the best case scenario.
You can have a slightly restricted border where you have a token force at the border, double checking carts and such. You're not directly tariffing them at the border still encouraging a decent bit of trade, but by having some forces there, it decreases the security risk a little bit and decreases crime a little bit.
What is our security?
Yeah, what is our where is that? Is
the
that like on unrest kind of as well, or
unrest is more how your people are feeling in general. It's the kind of like general mood and like general like rebellious tendencies of your populace.
yeah?
When it comes to actual crime at the moment, your High Warden Torin will report that crime is currently at an all-time low.
Hey.
Okay.
Crime is very unheard of currently in your city. So,
I mean, Vic is kind of subjugated that guild, right?
I wouldn't say subjugated. One of them is on my payroll, and the other one is like pay us and we'll do what you want. I kinda.
the point is, both of them are sort of under control.
Yeah.
Neither are running rampant because you're keeping tabs on them both.
I'm keeping tabs on them, and also there's a third party who is interested in keeping me informed of things.
Well,
I've yet to ascertain their allegiance, but they seem helpful. So
as it stands right now, crime is pretty low in your territory.
I mean, we could always like increase security later, right? There's not a thing where it's like, oh, we've made this and now we can't change
You can always
it.
increase security later, or alternatively, like hire like more guards later or something.
Yeah, I think having it open for now is fine, and then if it becomes a problem later, we can always crack down. But like getting the benefit out of it as soon as possible is probably the best case here.
On the far opposite end is the highly restricted entry, which basically means every merchant gets taxed on the way in and like with full guard forces on all borders, but that severely decreases merchants wanting to come.
Yeah.
We we do need the money. Crime is low. If they give us a reason to change our minds, then we'll clamp down. But for now, we need the money a lot, and it'll show goodwill against the Duchess to be like, "Hey, we trust you. Look."
Hopefully, if my spy network thing works out, maybe I might be abreast of things happening, even though there is no security out there. You never know.
In addition, Adesia's clerk also has a secondary question.
Yes.
Which creates a bit of a legal ruling that Amulets will have to decide on.
Ooh.
All right.
Now, it turns out Silverswood has quite the thriving free drug market.
Mm-hmm.
What is your stance on various recreational drugs?
Define various recreational drugs.
Hard or soft?
Yeah.
There is a large variety.
Yeah. I think. I mean,
So you're free to set what's illegal and what's not, but if you're going to be opening up trade with someone who has quite a lot of a drug market, should probably let now decide what it's going to be.
yeah.
True.
I mean, if we say no, it's just going to be smuggling.
Yeah.
If
we do that with the open borders, there's going to be smuggling for sure.
Yes. But I don't want drugs to flood in either unchecked. Legalize it, maybe, see what happens.
You want to legalize like minor drugs, but like keep the heavy stuff restricted?
Yeah, I think so. Legalize and tax.
Take a middle ground approach with the drugs then.
You can buy tobacco and a beer or I don't know, some smoke leaf or whatever they have, but maybe keep the death sticks out of here.
Fair enough. You go for a middle approach of moderate control, but not. They're not. You're you're still allowing for some basic recreational drugs and such.
Yeah,
We'll
I
have our alchemist friend draw up a list, and Isaac can also have some input, probably of weird recreational use of like mushrooms and other stuff.
Maybe we can make our own brands. Sokai
Yes,
brand.
Torkai brand.
You don't need this hard stuff. This soft stuff is super good. You don't
Yep.
need to die. It's fine.
Emperor approves. Emperor cigarettes.
In which case, I will now update with that because I got the calculations here of how much you're getting.
All right.
Firstly, just from the direct trade route, this is going to include what you'll have once the tunnel's done at the end of the month as well. I'm just doing that now for you. But your projected income is firstly a base, let's see, from the tunnel plus that. Base 6 from the trade route, which is increased by 50% because you've currently got the holiday edict, right?
Yes.
So that you effectively went from +2 from that trade route to +9.
Hey.
Now having Silver Swift as a partner instead of Reichhold.
Yeah, Reichhold was kind of bunk.
I mean, Reichhold is now part of Silver Swift, so you know. They're in there somewhere. Just, you know, the trade of furniture is no longer the main focus of it anymore.
Furniture.
It was just like furniture and lumber before. Now it's just like, oh, now you've got like a big trade partner.
Get that port going.
Oh wow, that is a lot of money.
Yeah, get that port going, and we're in
And
business.
we're flying, yeah, or sailing.
Well, yeah.
Gold, lovely gold.
I mean, yeah. I think the
It'll
dock.
still
for sure.
take so many months to get that airship dry dock.
I mean,
Well,
that's like end game. I mean, no one
Yeah.
has their shit. That's
That's like Warhammer Tier 5. Like,
Yeah.
you don't just build that dwarven air hangar the first thing you do.
You rush that shit and dunk people.
Oh man, if we could get those gyro bombers, that would be pretty
I mean,
good.
if you want to rush that, I am all for it.
Oh, we finished the campaign at level 12, guys. What? Oh, we had the airship. We blew up everyone.
I mean, that's great.
The Royal Air Force comes in.
In addition, because you have a fully open border, the base trade of Sorkai also increases by another 2.
Oh, nice.
Hey,
You're actually up to 19 as your net income now at the end of the turn. From
Jeez,
4.
That is a huge difference. All right, that's good.
Ching.
Over 300% increase.
What
As,
is crypto?
As it turns out, having the Duchess as your ally with a fully open border, a lot of money starts flowing.
Yeah, it turns out having. Oh, actually, yeah.
Having trade open with people is good.
So, as an aside to Amanus, because I, as a player, can't remember, but did we tell everyone that she's like a, half dragon thing?
I don't believe new members are aware.
New members are not aware, but the old guard is.
Okay. So, what's our policy here?
We keep it to the old guard for now.
Fair enough. All right.
A lot of money begins to flow in then under your new trade policies. In other news, as you will find out in the coming few weeks, a new drug shop has opened in town.
We've got a dispensary.
Well, does the drug shop pay taxes?
You legalize some drugs, so yes.
Does it lower unrest?
We will find out.
Oh yeah, there might be some hard asses from the church be like, excuse me.
Yeah, but yeah, probably we should probably keep just an eye, on the drug stuff, because if there's a lot of underground drug, like I don't want opium den popping up, I don't think Amanas would be very in favor of that. He is lawful neutral after all.
If one opens up, you will be informed.
I mean, if it opens up, you can use it as example, make more trade.
He's more of a, you should work and then you can eat, and all of this like drug recreational stuff frowns frowns, very dislikable.
Still, it is very good for the, it's still good in general that so far you've now got a massive increase in money for the coming few turns, which is nice.
That is nice.
especially as you have many projects you may want to undertake. Because you've had enough stuff just sitting on like standby. So
Yep, I sure do.
from the docks, siege workshops, magical libraries, super expensive airship dock. A lot of shit.
Yeah, that I think that the trade dock might be a good next option, honestly.
Opening a port.
Yeah. Might be Lord Shell's big moment to make himself useful.
It will also, of course, unlock the High Admiral as actually a position that can be filled then.
Very funny. More like one dock, and he's gonna have a little office on the dock. We do have the trident. We have promised the trident as a badge of office for the for the High Admiral.
It's a pretty good badge of office.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fish command.
Yes.
Okay.
How is your love affair going with Estinian, Saris?
I will tell you, as Saris, when Saris comes back, she does in fact have a few love letters sitting that have arrived by mail.
It's there. It's ongoing, trailing him along. We'll have a High Admiral, I'm sure.
Had a few million centuries to think about it. So.
I've had many years to go over the letters. It's true. I had to break up the study eventually, and the reading material was getting kind of boring. I went through Amanas's diary a few times. That was just dreary.
Oh, no.
What?
Well, situations have certainly turned.
Just doom and gloom.
Am I supposed to imagine just Amanas's diary just being like the diary of like this like very emo kid?
He writes poetry.
I just started as like the drunkard diary, and then like halfway through there's like a complete like personality change.
my blood is like Shane's.
Oh, he's writing
How they
poetry.
rattle in the skeletal wings of death. It's my poetry.
He has to express himself somehow.
The high intelligence bloke.
She spent the next 2 years after reading that studying. And no more breaks after that one.
But I guess a question for GM. Any progress regarding to my contacts and with TO? The message stuff and the false information and that so on.
Things have been oddly quiet, especially in terms of your faraway contact. Very quiet.
Sure. She keeps it still the open it.
You're not sure why it's been so quiet. It just kind of things all just suddenly stopped.
It's fine.
Of course, your item you have with that is still intact, so it hasn't been destroyed. Yeah, the other side hasn't been destroyed.
Oh.
She keeps that for update at the moment.
Okay. We'll turn the camera, I suppose, for a moment. Sure, I can do this for a second. We'll handle your bit now, Sheep, because this will be interesting. So Isaac, of course, you're getting settled in here at the But of course, you've noticed something which no one else really has since your arrival. The wisps of energy, the wisps of elemental energy, just kind of dancing all over the palace and all over the kind of city as a whole.
Yeah, well, what's that all about?
You go and start looking around, and there are a lot of them here, more than you'd expect. Some of which you can attribute to just the sheer volume of magic in the city. To a degree, it makes sense. A place of high magic, somewhat expected. But it is an unusual amount. As Isaac finds himself kind of wandering and exploring, and actually wandering into the caves behind the city of Sorkai. The caves connected onto the city that no one has really done much with. They've so far only been really used for like storage, if nothing else, for the town. You know, nice and secluded within the walls, nice area of caves. Lots of lots of large, old, kind of very dry spaces. Good, good place. But Isaac, something feels different in here as you start wandering the caves. Would you be able to give me a perception roll?
I most certainly can attempt to. 25.
That's a pretty good perception roll.
He sees things. He would also most likely do his exploration while shaped into an owl.
Ooh. Very well. Does being an owl give you a special benefit here I should be aware of?
Advantage on perception checks, as it turns out.
Ah! I see. I mean, do you want to roll a second time?
I mean, you might as well. You never know.
Sure.
Think
I just click on something here. How does this work?
should be like a little plus or something if you mouse over the roll itself.
I don't know. I'm just gonna roll.
No, it hasn't worked for a while. I don't know why.
Oh,
That's
we'll
okay.
stay at 25.
Okay. You head out and go to start exploring through the cave, just kind of flapping around. No one has noticed this, but as you kind of go around, there are small etchings and indentations in the rockwork here. They glow faintly as you kind of get closer to them. No one having explored this far deep into the caves, just anyone's been here, but as you get close, you immediately recognize the writing in a language which, while you do speak, you are still not well. You tell me how proficient you feel Isaac really is in it, but it's druidic messages written into the stonework.
Passing, probably. Enough to read, to write, but not fluent by any means. What's it saying then? And do they look like recent or old?
They look old, very old. The messages there kind of just spell out a bit of a story to Isaac, telling the tale of a young man venturing deep out into the snow and taking refuge with a bear. The bear offered him warmth and shelter, and notably did not eat him. And in time, the man came back year after year, but returning with food year after year. One day, though, this man eventually had to flee his home and fled north towards the caves. And when he did, while the bear was waiting, for when the hunters came following, it was not a bear any longer, but a great spirit of the earth itself, who decided to strike back at those who would harm the mortal who had been so kind to it and giving it offerings over these years. The great beast striking down the hunters and offering refuge for the man and forevermore his kin. An interesting story, to say the least.
That's pretty nice. An odd find, to be sure.
Spirit still lingers.
Well, as far as it kind of feels around, the place is deeply entrenched with primal power. And this makes sense to Isaac why the city is actually so deeply bound with magic and why the Mage Tower is here in the first place. The entire tower runs across a conjunction of multiple ley lines. The elemental there's essentially just an elemental leakage into this town, which is probably why the tower was built here. Though most overwhelmingly, the elemental leakage has been cold.
Makes sense for the location. I mean, we would have noticed if it was like the plane of fire erupts under the city.
But the other elemental planes are still present in the kind of conjunction going on, even if cold is the most dominant, if nothing else, due to climate.
That is very curious. Suppose Isaac will just keep looking around, really, not really hunting for any particular answer to any particular question, just investigating, really.
As Isaac does, he will find a few more of these ancient messages kind of just hidden around, though they're all very far and scattered between. All telling little stories and anecdotes. It does appear, though, that before the tower was here, before the great structure was built atop this, well, it does appear that this place has been the site of magical power for multiple different groups in the past. So it will take Isaac some time to try and figure out more details.
That might be something he'll do over time then.
Very well.
I don't think he'll share this with anyone quite yet. His oath certainly didn't include "tell me everything." He would like to see what's really like going on. Whether like the tower seems to be just making use of this, or rather exploiting it, or how the elemental energies feel about this whole arrangement, basically. And just generally, have like a little secret place he goes to occasionally. That seems neat.
As it stands, very few people head this deep into the mountain for Sokai, so it is a nice secluded spot for you, which is quite nice. Let's... Also, I can enable Sorkai's map again because that's been hidden for a while, so I can go back up. Torin's on there, and I can also go ahead and just drag you on because Isaac's now in the city. For wherever Isaac would happen to spend his time.
In places people wouldn't expect, like on rooftops and in the sewers. He doesn't really just walk around. Not like, people do.
As Grant said, you have a bit of an interesting situation. The town does not really have a clear office for you, as it were, right now.
There's no way Isaac would ever use an office, so that's fine.
Yeah, I suppose right now the closest thing for Isaac, for a workplace, might in fact be the old druidic caves deep in the mountains. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, for the moment at least, though, Isaac does not particularly have a personal There is no formal facilities for Isaac anywhere. He's probably been given an office in the palace, but yeah, I just said how often are you actually going to use that? pretty much just a room with your name plaque on it. That's it.
Isaac would basically alternate between being very hard to find and being in the kitchens.
Ah,
I mean, that's a good place to be.
I mean, that is respectable.
Good place for an office.
You
Now,
would
just,
see.
now, just clarify, are we saying any office, or are we specifically talking the palace's office?
Any.
Not the kitchen, sorry.
Like, none of
Any.
the. Oh, any kitchen. No, presumably the palace kitchens mostly.
So yeah,
Yeah,
just
if you find yourself at my office, I don't think he'd be very impressed with you just walking in unannounced.
on the other hand, he could pretend to be one of the birds. So
Oh, true. I wouldn't. Well, depends on my perception, I guess.
It would depend how my Tressum is feeling.
It's true.
Oh, that
How
goes.
hungry it is.
Yeah.
So I'm now imagining Isaac getting chased as an owl down the hallway by a Tressum.
Can I just mention again how good this map is, the Sorkai? It's good.
Yeah,
It's
really
gorgeous.
cool.
We haven't used it in a bit, but yeah, it's a beautiful little map here.
It's nice.
I will also note to self. I need to go ahead and create that token for your new Lilith Medusa to go sit in the tower.
Yes. And familiars when you have time.
I will not be populating this map with the familiars. But
No. Just in general.
you should have access to a dragon familiar out now. Actually, at least you have a card called familiar in your. Yeah, you have a card called familiar under Vickers now.
I
You,
don't see it.
There we go. Now you should be able to see it.
Oh, okay. I do now. Thank you.
if you pre-order your familiar, you can get a beta weekend.
I forgot to pay. I forgot to pay the
Yeah,
subscription
yeah.
fee. No. That
There
helps.
is
Thank you.
that unfortunate subscription for your familiars. Everyone always forgets it.
That's okay.
But yeah. As it stands, activity currently in the town though is mostly fine. Amulus does have another visitor he might want to see before he ventures out, though.
Sure.
As wanting to visit you is a Miss Tabitha, the witch of the dark Scoldy tribe, who you would send off to find you an item of power.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
well, Miss Tabitha. I'm always open for business on the
The dark power.
on the great power find place. Yes, for sure.
Tabitha of Relamos will come to you in your throne room and will beseech before you a kind of take a bow before your magnificent throne, as besides her is a very large box that has been like lugged in by like a pair of Scoldy besides her.
Ah, yes.
The box approximately man-sized.
Uh-huh.
And she seems to have a satisfied look on her face as she enters in.
All right.
Your wife, I mean,
What? You take that back.
Well, we're going to go for Frankenstein's wife situation here.
Oh boy. Well, he will look with some anticipation as they carry in the big box, and then make a gesture towards her with his gloved, gauntleted hand, and say, "Well then, Miss Tabitha, what have you brought before me?"
On the behalf of the Relamos tribe, we have brought our offering to pay the debts owed. As she gestures to some of the Scoldy who came with her to open up the crate, and inside you see a basic mannequin inside that is wearing this suit of this blackened, ribboned armor.
Tell me more.
It looks old, a very old style of armor, yet somehow it doesn't look rusted, it doesn't look decayed. It bears this slight plumage of like dark grey some like dark grey feathers to it, and it has these kind of spiked ornamentations on the shoulders.
Ah.
And immediately upon looking at it, you notice around you some of the servants just in the room immediately recoil slightly from it. You don't notice; they do.
All right. I mean, Amanas will nod in appreciation, and you know, he will step down from his dais and go over to inspect it more closely.
As she just simply makes a motion for you to it. It's a really unique looking suit of armor. It's old, as noted, very old. Though immediately, as soon as you're going to get close to it, to kind of reach your hand out, you can feel the kind of very faint presence of power from it. It's definitely magical, and you realize it slightly exudes a slight aura of fear from it itself.
Amanas looks with some appreciation to Tabitha and says, "This seems very interesting to me." He bends down and scrutinizes some of the details of the armor. Would you care to tell me some of its history?
This armor dates back long ago. While the exact date has been lost, I place it, in my best guess, to actually shortly before the founding of your first empire.
All right.
The ancient tribes of the north had a ruler who was rumored to be so feared that when he was eventually assassinated, they scattered his body far and wide in hopes and fear that he could never be resurrected. Much of his equipment was also destroyed, but some of it still remained, and we managed. And well, my people know much of the dark secrets of the land, but many of the spirits still speak to us. We managed to track this piece down.
Amaras nods, looks at it appreciatively. What are the properties? I can feel the aura as he reaches out his gauntleted hand and sort of hovers it slightly above the armor.
This armor was designed magically enforces a dark cloud over lesser minds who look at it. It's of course magically protective, which is always appreciated. Though it's lost some of its glamour in that regard, but it will still do you well. But more notably, for any who dare strike you, well, they will feel the effects of the ancient fear that's locked within it, striking at their very minds. I think you can appreciate that.
He nods. Very good, Tabitha. Very good. We accept this payment.
As she makes her bow with a satisfied look. Debts to be paid then, and debts owed. I'm glad that this will satisfy.
He nods. We are happy to have concluded our business, and as before, you are welcome to remain as long as you desire.
I may take you up on your offer. This is quite the interesting locale.
Hans looks at the other Scaldy, thinking to himself that having her around is probably a decent idea. She's powerful, she's wise, and
the Scaldy with her give her this look of respect and fear.
Yep. And if she can bring more Scaldy to the cause, bonus. We need more berserkers. Very good. In that case, he will have the servants carry this away. But before any attempt to actually donning it, he will ask Cerus to have a very close look at this thing. Make sure it's not cursed or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm sure that can be arranged pretty easily.
If you wish to examine the armor, you may do so with an Arcana check if you want.
Sure. I even have the spell detect magic if that helps.
It's always useful. It may help you with getting more information.
Do I have anything to read? Used to as a sorcerer. Oh. And
A high sage may also be able to provide information if you need it.
I
I do
mean,
have an identify spell if you want the
Alright.
information. we have.
Then I mean, yeah. I guess Seal. I kind of forget that Seal is like the lore master, sort of. We'll of course bring Seal in as well. A lore bard and everything. She's perfect.
yeah, definitely.
I can give it the identify and I guess Arcana check also.
Please, go ahead. Okay. They both look over these suit of armor. They can certainly confirm the magic in it is far older than either of they are.
Yeah.
But as it stands, it does appear to be what she says, as far as they can tell, at least. The exact stats of which I will post you in chat in just a moment for you.
Awesome.
Is it just quiet or my Discord
I
dying?
think it's just very quiet.
All right, I was making sure because we had the same situation yesterday.
Yeah, it's fine. We had that moment yesterday where just all the audio cut out for a bit.
Oops.
Anticipation for the armor.
There were multiple items she could have pulled. I feel like she pulled one of the better ones for you.
Hooray.
Armor of the Black Lord can be found in the Blood Bonds chat for you.
Tell me about the armor of the Black Lord.
That sounds right up Hamanas's street.
Rare full plate. All right. +1 AC. Whenever you're struck by a foe whose level is less than or equal to your level, you take psychic damage equal to your charisma modifier. In addition, you may as a swift action, you may flash an aura of fear, making all creatures adjacent to you make a wisdom saving throw or become frightened for 1 round. Right. That's
Should
very,
be not swift action, but yeah, you know what I mean.
yeah. That's very good use of a bonus action. I will take it, and we'll have to figure out how to add a custom item to my.
You can use that bonus action every round.
Let me double check the text on it to see if there was a limit marked on there. I just got that to do. There is a limiter on there.
I assume it's once per day, or or charges. I don't know.
Yeah, like dragons' fear auras are usually like, oh, if a creature saves, it's immune to this effect for 24 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, if I could dip this in like dragon blood or something, maybe I can get that frightful presence thing from dragon.
And that's actually the text I forgot. I didn't see on here. Which once a creature succeeds a save, it becomes immune.
That's
Well,
fair.
we do know a half dragon, so.
Oh, did you find that out? Oh, okay.
Who told you?
You must die.
Duchess,
I'm
we
just
need to borrow some blood.
The little devil on Evanes's shoulder.
Yeah. No. I mean,
I
yeah,
see.
because the frightful presence of like an adult dragon is like 50 feet or something. It's just a huge burst.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
But there we go. Text has been updated appropriately. I missed that part on there. I'm importing a Pathfinder version of the item, so it's like, okay, I make big changes. But yeah.
I guess seal will report. Doesn't seem cursed, but if it is, I can break it.
At that point, it is too late.
If
I am the
they
darkness
survive.
reincarnated.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's a nice item.
Yeah, the armor is made of steel with its various like adornments of like feathers and various other like furs to it. The metal stained with a black dye, giving it, of course, its dreadful look. Appropriate to yesterday's game, it kind of like Hell Knight's plate in some regards. Not that Hell Knights are a thing yet, so.
Did you do you have like, is this a custom item you have made on D&D Beyond that I could like import, or
I can make you a version on D&D Beyond. I don't have it on there right now, but I could import it on there.
that would be very nice. Thank you.
I'll make a note to myself to do that between sessions for you right now.
Awesome. Because it'll bump my AC up to 21. Is very nice.
Yeah, there was a few plus ones she could have brought, but the Armor of the Black Lord's a pretty good one.
Armor of the Black Lord I like. It's on brand.
All the ones she could have brought you were fairly on brand, but like there was one that would have been like slightly necromantic. There was a few. She just went with the fear. She got the fear one. That's pretty good for you.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like the necromantic one too. It could be good. Really go the Death Knight route. But it's good. I like it. There's a lot of fear oozing out. Yeah, the armor properly identified and whatnot. Send it over to Arkland for a thorough scrubbing.
It will
Get
take
all
quite a
of
bit.
that.
It's been in a crypt for a while. So.
Yeah. It needs to get all the cobwebs and all like the smell of like dead warlord out of it. What was it made of? Like steel or like dark iron or?
It appears to be made out of a very old form of iron.
All right. Like the classics.
This was, a few millennia ago. This was originally made. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Thankfully, magical enchantments can make any item hold up for a very long time.
Yeah. Polish it up. See if it needs some new stuffing here and there in the armor. Maybe
definitely probably replace it in a padding with some modern stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking in a padding might be a bit on the
padding does not hold up as much as the iron does. So
exactly. That's very good. Very good.
Yeah. And there's a slight retrofit cost. Your court can cover that. That's fine. We'll get that fixed up for you. Yeah, Tabitha will take her leave for the time being. She and her dark entourage are finding a nice place to make themselves comfortable. Isaac can immediately, even though Isaac has not met her before, can immediately tell she kind of has the because she also has like spiritual stuff going on around her. Because her spirits feel very like the dead kind.
Mm. Isaac doesn't immediately have anything against that sort of thing. It's just part of nature as well, right?
Point is, Isaac can see the dead spirits kind of linger with her, follow. But Isaac sees all.
I'm trying to make a token for my failure, but I don't think I have permission to. Maybe.
You chuck me a picture, and I can import the picture on for you.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Let's.
Yeah, you guys don't have the ability to upload files to my computer, which is what you would need to do that ability. So,
Gotcha.
no offense, I just have that setting turned off.
No, that's perfectly fine. I think that's a very smart decision. There you go.
Let's see, what was your familiar again?
It's an owl.
Ah, good.
Yes. It's
That's
a
how an owl.
fey owl, in fact.
Quite the owl.
Indeed. Shiny.
Just go ahead and share that picture of the class, just so everyone can see.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone, owl.
Damn.
It's a fancy owl.
Very fey. Very much fey.
Yes.
Your druid is going to get jealous.
Ah, well. The druid is free, so I think that's better.
Oh, that's a distinct advantage to not being fancy.
Yes, I agree.
There you go. You now have fancy owl.
Thank you.
Okay. In addition, something that will now be available is the group can potentially approach Tabitha if you want to try and get her tribe to do more archaeological digs for you.
I see.
It's a potential thing that the council can spend focus on if they really want to.
Good to know.
Because you need more shit. But with that, okay. Can I get, let's see, Vicus and, well, more like Valky and Ida, can you both give me a d20?
Yeah.
Valky and Isaac, okay.
20. No! I've wasted it.
Let me see here.
Did you say Isa or Isaac? I can't.
I said Isa as an Isaacawa, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
I also heard Isaac.
I was looking for random numbers here. I got my random numbers I needed.
That's okay.
I was even half-heartedly making fun of you saying Valky's like player name and my character name, even though you didn't.
I think he did it expressly for the purpose of distinguishing. That's funny.
Congratulations, you are now taking over the role of both player and character.
I shall now create a new character called Sheeb.
I mean, who knows if these random numbers are good or not? You can never tell.
Or Halldamir.
No, it's Halldamir and Rachel. Come on, get with it.
Oh,
Come
yeah,
on,
Rachel.
Rachel.
That still shows up every time I
It does.
type it in.
Years. I don't know why.
Rachel.
I'm still yet to know a Rachel.
You would say that, wouldn't you?
I would.
Problem is, when I type that in, it still shows up your channel, but that's probably just because I've gone with so much using that it's
I've
Maybe.
tried it in incognito mode as well, and it comes up with the channel.
His Grace is currently wandering around. He's currently wandering around somewhere in the. Where would Amanus find himself? Just say middle of an afternoon when no meetings are scheduled.
Middle of an afternoon with no meetings are scheduled. Well, if he has nothing in particular to do, he might either just survey the city, like take his heroic horse that he has, and just ride around the city a little bit, just to look around. It's a good idea. The city's not that big, and there is a point of people seeing their leader every now and then. Or he will be training, probably with Arklan, sparring and whatnot, making sure that the kid progresses as he should.
I can set the ride around your land option. This will work quite well.
All right.
As your Grace kind of rides around, kind of exploring your domain a little bit, and kind of enforcing down for your peasants, like, I'm here, I'm in charge. You come to see a surprisingly large group of people coming up the path outside of Sorkai. A small military group moving up, carrying the Silver Swift banner.
Oh.
All right.
It's not a full army group. It's just a small retinue coming their way up. Yet something seems. You can even hear from here joyous noises and loud talking.
How many?
It's a large squad, but still only a squad. So we're talking at most maybe 20.
Okay.
Definitely not like a siege force.
Yeah.
But you also notice. Oh, that's quite the sight. You notice they're bringing. They notice they've got a cart with them with 2 people on the back of it. They look like some of the Blackfire. They look like 2 of the Blackfire mages of Alcend.
Okay.
They're bringing prisoners.
Okay.
As you will see, the kind of cart roll up here, and as they kind of see Amnes there, the entire formation kind of goes from being slightly rockety and kind of all kind of just talking to each other freely to something standing at more attention as they see you at the gate on your horse.
Yeah. Amanas would have stopped his horse. And he sits on it, just observing them coming closer.
As they kind of move, trying to be more in formation as they kind of approach the city and see you though.
Yeah.
Understandably, you're well aware, of course, that the Silver Swift, her lands are not necessarily as lawful as aligned as yours.
Mm-hmm.
She tends to give her people far more free reign than you perhaps would like. But as they kind of make their way up, the commanding officer of the squad salutes to you. Your lordship, on the behalf of our dear lady, we have brought 2 prisoners for your dungeon.
He looks upon the prisoners.
We also bring good news from the front.
He nods. Very good. You may proceed through my gates and deposit the prisoner in the palace dungeons. Then you may avail yourselves of some of the barracks food and wash up. And he looks up at the sky, judging the position of the sun. In 2 hours' time, you shall present yourselves before my throne.
He nods, and you see him call back orders to his men who pull the cart and the 2 prisoners inside.
Yep. Ominous will at that point return and call the inner circle to the throne room, because if there is important prisoners, might be a good might be interesting. He also called Miss Sarah, if she can be found. Because again, if there's prisoners around,
Very
we
well.
might need her.
We will summon the royal enforcer.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, should I interrogate? I'm like, no, we have someone who is expressly like very trained in
She
this
has
sort of thing.
she has expertise in torture and interrogation.
Yeah, and you know, it makes everything quicker to torture people, and I don't have to do it. So
It is a messy business.
And a
Good
lot,
neutral
and a
person.
lot of what you
Yeah.
seem to get some joy out of doing it. So
Yeah, you know, cathartic for him, I'm sure.
yeah, a nice vacation invading someone's mind and stealing secrets. Okay. After that, several hours, the entire and as kind of scheduled, the knight will make his way in to give his brief over what his troops had done. He will approach in, kind of in high regard as he kind of comes in. But he will still take his knee before you, as he's been instructed to show you full protocol etiquette.
Yes.
He will wait for you to give him permission before he will start speaking.
Amunas will make a motion with his hand that he can start.
We bring tidings. We bring tidings from the lower front. In West Road Valley, my lady's forces were pinned back against the barricades of our center. Yet we managed to, though we did not believe this would actually work. We decided to do a tactic. The details I'll spare you the full of, but we did a bit of a decoy maneuver around one of the side roads. I'm not sure if their spy master screwed up or what the situation exactly was, but to say the least, there has been a breach. The Western Valley is in retreat, and we are closing in quite quickly. With fairly minimal casualties as well. 200 of Alcend soldiers are currently in current captivity.
All right.
We brought their 2 mages along as we believed they may be better suited in your dungeon.
I believe you're correct.
As it stands, Our Lady wanted you to know that she will continue to push down until as far as she can get before she reaches Altenster, awaiting the other forces to meet up with her.
Amunas nods and says, "We will then try to come to the front as soon as possible." He shoots a glance over to Isaac. We will try to be swift.
He will go ahead and give a proper report, a written report as well, before taking his leave for you.
Hmm.
There was a critical success on one of the war fronts.
Hooray!
Yay. Did it.
And yeah, her forces are somewhat just tearing through right now.
Now, Bizarra. You must interrogate them.
Put them to the question.
Is there anything you would like her to particularly ask your prisoners or extract?
Well, we are currently on a mission to potentially sabotage his stash of, I believe, dragon scales or mana crystals that he's going to use for something big.
Well,
So
I mean that's something you already got kind of pre-arranged once you can get close to the main city. But
true, but any information on that would help us, like any traps that we didn't know, or any information like maybe he has a trap or something set for us, for that area that we're not aware of. I mean, given that they're mages, they would surely know something. And if not, then I don't know, some general information about like army orders or like what the state of the war is going. See if there's any locations that are going to be attacked anytime soon that we can reinforce, something like that.
And also maybe what this whole elemental summoning thing is all about. They might know something.
Yeah, true. Isaac would certainly have more insights on what to ask specifically. But yeah, that seems good.
what's the highest priority information for her to try and extract first?
I would say the elemental thing because that sounds really bad. Honestly, because if you know that's not good for anyone. So knowing about that would be good.
Any other preference? Any other suggestions or preferences, or is that the group's whole will?
Feel free to chime in, folks.
Mm, I mean, what would they have useful info of? Like magical defenses and traps and whatnot in the palace seems most likely, right?
One thing that they may have is magical way of communication stuff, but that's not high in the list.
What do you mean?
Like, how to do sending spells or scrying abilities and that kind of things.
I mean, if they do, that's their spells, right?
Yeah, but it's not high in the list. It's just an idea that came to my mind.
Okay.
Yeah, just defenses. Defenses and traps is what we're generally interested in.
So we're hearing defenses, traps, elemental tower. Okay.
Yep.
Let us see then what she's able to pull out then. Okay. She goes about gently asking the two mage prisoners some questions. Her exact method you don't need to know, but they are probably highly invasive. The first bit of information she extracts then is on the regard of Isaac's topic of question. And she will look to all of you with a confused but perplexed look. So, I've looked into your suggestion, Mr.
Yes,
Isaac.
that's me.
She looks perplexed exactly what to refer to you as, but
That's fine.
it does appear that you are correct, that they were indeed doing an elemental summoning. Quite the interesting project as well.
Can you be more specific?
Genies.
What does Isaac know about genies?
Feel free to give me a Arcana or Nature roll.
Yeah, not gonna. Isaac's not very learned, unfortunately. 15?
You know some about genies. Geniekin are, I mean, by base, incredibly powerful. They're incredibly powerful beings of raw, born of the elemental planes. And many of them, traditionally living on the elemental planes, unless they are brought here to our world. Genies are known. They are incredibly tough individuals and a pain taker in a fight. Though that is not the scariest thing about genies. Though certainly in open combat it may be. The scariest part, of course, is the legends, which everyone vaguely knows the legends of genies. Though you do know they hold some weight to them, which is genies are known to have the ability to cast pretty powerful magic. And if you're talking the upper levels of geniekin, some of them can truly grant absolute wishes of magic. Though, good luck to a genie doing that and not trying to make it a crapshoot. Let's be honest, all wish magic tends to be a little bit unpredictable. Genies aren't able to grant that to each other. This is something they can only ever grant to a mortal. But, well, if they're being properly brought into, if it's a powerful genie can properly brought to this plane, okay, yeah, you could have an issue.
Isaac will sort of think that out loud and basically say, so that would be bad.
My thoughts as well. You said it was quite a powerful thing they were bringing through, did you not?
I think so.
If it was a minor geniekin, I would not be concerned, but if it's a powerful one, then, well, that's certainly one way to try and circumvent the rules of magic.
It would be nice for a change to have a non-magical threat, but what can you do?
Have you not realised what the Duke's entirely invested himself in?
I know, but he sighs.
You may ask her follow-up questions regarding the summoning.
Do they know when? Is it currently being attempted, or are they preparing it?
It is currently being prepared.
Okay.
Through her interrogation, they need a substantial amount of energy if they're going to forcibly open a true portal to the elemental planes to let this thing in.
Okay.
Because summoning a genie, you can't use its wish ability. It has to truly be here.
What kind of genie are they attempting to summon?
They are summoning. Let me double check. A Djinn. The genie of wind and air.
Okay.
And thunderstorms and yeah.
Right.
And wishes, probably.
Well, that's the problem of all genies, wishes. If it's a power.
And the power source, I assume, is what they've been trying to amass, like over time.
Yes. This is the last bit of information she can give you from that first prisoner before they've expired.
Yes.
But yes, what they have been doing is they have been slowly working away at forcibly siphoning power out of the ley lines.
Oh.
And then condensing it down into essentially their own form of mana crystal to try and create enough energy to force the portal open. It takes a lot of power to do this, and yeah, essentially they have to basically just breach a hole, through the planes to literally just let something in.
Well,
a genie capable of casting wish, because that could you to be quite powerful.
I mean, we are going there to disrupt their magic, so I mean, this seems to be two birds with one stone. as far as I'm concerned.
But now you know more details about it.
Yes.
There is a second prisoner. You can either have her keep asking questions on the same line, or you can have it be a different line of inquiry. She goes down to the second prisoner. But yeah, sadly, the first prisoner at this point can no longer speak too well.
I mean, I think we pretty much have gotten like the main points that we need to know here about what they're doing specifically. I don't know if we need any more info.
Maybe some info on the mage leading this operation. I assume it's not some sort of just hedge wizard who does stuff.
Yeah, I suppose if we can get their name, maybe we can like
Name, like,
scry or
you know,
something.
skill levels. I just want to know who we're going to be up against, because if we know, maybe we can fight them better.
All right.
That is a completely fair question. One moment for you.
Good point.
The person conducting the ritual, she will inform you. Her name is Elaine Reinhardt,
Okay.
aka the Duke's daughter.
Oh, interesting.
Well then. Didn't know he had a daughter, or that she was a powerful sorceress, but I suppose that makes sense.
Yes, she is in fact a sorceress who, turns out, her blood is of an elemental variety, making her a perfect focus for the ritual.
Aha.
Essentially, she's calling in Great Grandpa.
Right. Alright, well, in that case, he definitely should go and stop them.
Do you wish to ask further questions on this topic?
What are the
What,
cornerstones of the ritual?
maybe get some info on that so we can disrupt it more easily.
Yeah, like just there's focal points. What points, if they were disrupted, would at least slow the progress enough for us to end it completely?
The ritual requires drawing power down from the four cardinal directions down the ley lines and condensing it together into the single ritual chamber. On a date where the barrier between the planes becomes weak, they will then try to dump all of that energy forcibly back into the ley lines and force open a gate. Given it's feeding off the ley lines from the four directions, it does give you some ability in your mind to maybe mess with it. You could try to somehow disrupt the ley lines themselves, or even, if you really don't care about the consequences, poison the ley lines. Though that may be a bit extreme approach.
I don't know.
But given it's a mage in particular interrogation, she can also give you details on the ritual that will also improve any skill checks you're attempting in disrupting the ritual.
That sounds good. Yeah, let's get that.
You know, she can literally just psychically read the mage's brains and just take the information out. So, because good old mind reading magic was our specialty. Other than that, Elaine obviously is a major focal point of the ritual. It's going to be very hard to do it without her, given she's both the most powerful mage there and also the focus.
Sounds like I need to assassinate her.
I don't suppose that she's is she always in that tower, never leaving, or
No, she has other duties around the realm. As she is not only well, basically, she is the heir of his realm, which means she has a council position. She has to go around doing her own shit.
Right.
She actually has a job to do.
Well, if we could track her, taking her out might solve the entire situation without even having to storm the tower.
Potentially easier than storming a well-defended mage's tower.
Because if she's critical to the whole ritual, without her, then it won't be anything. And taking one person out is easier than 100.
Remind me of her name again, Dark. Sorry, I was writing it down, but it slipped my mind.
Princess Elaine Reinhardt.
Okay.
He claimed the title of princess as she is the direct heir to the dukedom. Also, funny enough, being Lord Reinhardt's only kid.
Right.
She has no. The Duke has no spares.
Yes.
Technically, the spares would be his cousin, who you currently have working for you.
Yes. That would be something.
Unfortunate.
Yes. Alright, so how do we track her?
Well, if I do well with establishing a network, maybe I can use that to find her. Maybe. I'll have to see how that action pans out.
Yeah. Thankfully, she's also able to inform you that the elemental conjunction in question does look like it's going to be some time before it's completed.
Okay. Well,
Um,
if it's a day specifically when the planes are weak, isn't that like, is there like a calendar for mages for plane weakenings somewhere?
there potentially is. If any of your mages want to roll an Arcana check, they can try to figure it out.
Arcana check.
Alternatively, actually, the Royal Sage can just roll her Royal Sage check.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Royal Sage check seems good.
Royal Sage would be +10, I guess.
Yes, you've got +10 for your Royal Sage. High Sage check. Actually, yours might be about to go up, so I'll have to check that.
Yeah, all our proficiency should be 4.
Actually, 11 at the moment for you.
Oh, nice.
Could also ask. Oh, I won't need it. I'll
Oh, damn. All right.
Turns out, Ciel does know about the movement of the planes and stars. I don't know if Ciel has any interest in astronomy or if it's just something she's read at some point. But regardless. So right now we are in the height of we are kind of in the height of summer at the moment. But we're reaching the end point of we are getting closer to the end point of summer now, actually. Yeah. But the next kind of conjunction where the planes will fully kind of collapse in will be the first day of autumn, which is basically probably speaking like a month and a half away.
Okay.
That's the next time the plane of air will be close enough to try and attempt something like this.
When was this?
About a month and a half.
Month and a half. All right.
I think it's about 50 days in the calendar if I look at it. So you have some time to work on that. Worst case, you storm it on the very last day, but you know. You now have a calendar for whenever she successfully summons, Genie.
Yeah, I will inform this to the party.
We need to prep for that then. That's kinda soonish.
Soon-ish, but you have, it's not imminent. at least.
Yeah, it's not tomorrow or anything. That's nice.
So it's up to the
I
group
mean,
what approach they want to take here.
I mean, if we can track her in some way, I would prefer that than storming a tower full of mages.
As Vickers noted, his current council project is to establish a full spy network for himself. That very well may be a resource that would be very useful in doing that once the council, which
Yes. Yeah.
could be.
And when is that? How many days?
The council is next to convene in about 8 days.
Let's do that then. So if that can be established well enough, we can track her and seize her outside of the tower. That would be preferable. If not, we'll have to storm the tower.
Obviously, storming the tower more dangerous. Also, you might ruin a perfectly good mage tower.
Oh, true. Yeah, we want it. Mm.
We
That's
can
fine.
always
We can
fix
sacrifice
it.
one tower for this
Yeah.
thing.
We could always
seems
fix
bad.
it, worst case.
True. Prefer not to though.
Oh, yeah.
But think of the books and knowledge, Cyrus.
Well, I mean, are we going to be burning books while we're storming the place? I don't know.
A fireball might do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're probably most likely to burn the place.
There will be
is
selected
smaller.
fireballs.
Ah, I see.
I don't think that's an option you've got.
Not anymore, at least.
No. No, I don't.
Turns out fights inside mage towers always tend to be pretty messy.
Lots of counter spells. It'll be fine.
It's pretty painful, to be honest, the number of counter spells you'll get.
Wall of Force. It'll be alright.
Yeah, they have those as well, so.
Well, let's convene and see how it goes, I guess.
Very well. Technically, you can still ask 2 more questions of the prisoner she's got before they will expire from her interrogation.
Okay. Is there any like magical traps or like forces that they're currently sending out anytime soon against us?
One moment. Hmm. So, yes, she does manage to extract one piece of information, actually, that will help you in that regard.
All right.
It turns out Alcend, seeing that you're kind of pushing in hard, is somewhat panicking, especially about his spy master to, tell him what the shit's going on.
Yeah, funny how that happened.
So he has made the slightly brash decision to try and punch back at you. And has in fact been sending and has in fact sent something that's technically en route currently in your direction.
Okay.
Apparently from the Duke's own personal collection. Though the mage doesn't exactly know how he's getting it to you.
Okay.
Wasn't the most clear. Unfortunately, he kind of passed out before the interrogation finished. The Duke is apparently, though, has sent a few artificing accidents in your direction. Failed attempts at golems.
Oh, lovely.
Weird, but all right.
Hoping to try and just disrupt things.
Okay.
Most likely to try and, if nothing else, take the pressure off Free Frost, where currently, you're currently sieging the border fort.
All right.
So it sounds like the target is going after Frey Frost City, so trying to sneak around behind.
Sounds like we need to deal with that then.
At least you know to prepare for this might come. Maybe reinforce.
Yeah.
Also, in other news, apparently the Duke is also just panicking.
Oh, that's good for us.
Partly also because he's got a freaking horde on his back as well.
It's also bad for us because he might get desperate and do something really stupid.
Morale is very low right now in Great Alcid,
All right.
which is good for you, probably, unless he does something stupid. With that, though, both the mage prisoners are all useful information has been extracted from them at this point. Then they're not really not able to answer any more questions at this point.
That's fine. Just get rid of them.
So these specifically were the mages that escaped from the battle that I sent people after, right? Or were they someone else?
They were.
Okay, that's good. Good to know.
They are now essentially brain dead in the dungeon from being.
Yeah, I can write those off as something that is dealt with. Because I had that written down. So.
I'm sure Vic is happy that essentially they died to mental aneurysm from psychic damage. So
I know they deserve it. As far as I'm concerned.
which presents interesting information for the group, knowing that now, yes, you have a new target potentially. The dear princess.
Yep, it's a target we want for sure.
So, of course, the good question will be: is your goal to kill the princess, or would it be to capture the princess?
Depends on what she's up to.
Fair enough.
And
Yeah,
how
I mean-
difficult she makes herself to be captured.
We'll see if we even have a means to find her.
I mean, yeah, if she's a powerful caster, she might just teleport away and then we sort of just stand there. It's very difficult to catch a wizard who doesn't want to be caught.
On the other hand, when were wizards known for a good perception?
True, we have to catch them
True.
unprepared. That's the thing. Catch them
No, that's
unprepared, and
true.
they're yeah. Need some like anti-scrying wards on the like council room.
We can
Next
just
level.
line it with lead. That blocks divination usually.
I think the stone walls are enough, right?
I mean,
No, like lead specifically works.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting something next level to work against scrying. Next level.
You need a few feet of stone to try and block scrying, but you only need literally a single inch of lead.
All right.
Because apparently lead is so dense it blocks magicules.
Might actually be something for the council chamber now to think about it. Maybe she just get some lead in there.
Note to self: buy from dwarfs. Lots of lead.
Want lead.
I mean, she hasn't seen you, or isn't close to you much, so like it'll be more difficult anyway if she attempted, unless you somehow left some like hair or something.
I mean,
No, well, I have
she
met
could have
Duke
seen her.
Consent.
No, but not his daughter.
I mean, possibly there is
No,
a
not the daughter. I
possibility.
don't care about the daughter, but I mean him. Like, he is a powerful wizard himself.
He is in fact a wizard. This is true.
Yes. So he could scry on his own.
Yes.
I mean, you might have met also the daughter.
I don't think I have.
I mean, the daughter might be with the Duke whenever they came, but didn't meet them personally.
Could be disguised as someone else. You never know.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Hide in plain sight is the best way to do it.
Uh-huh.
Anna's didn't even know she had a daughter, so who knows?
Yeah, as far as I know, I never met her. But what can I say?
I have a suspicion that Ciel might have, but who knows?
Uh-huh.
I think I know what you're talking about, so now I do as well. But we'll
This
see.
suspicion will be informed to Vickers.
Yeah. Scheming about. All right. Fair enough.
Well, if you bring up the idea of scrying potential targets, Isaac will pipe up that he can probably do that. Although it seems the other magically inclined council members might also have their ways. Isaac would just need a small loan of 1,000 gold pieces.
I see.
Mm,
I mean, I don't think we.
uh,
If we can't find her through any other means, then perhaps.
I assume this is for the use of the scrying spell.
Yes.
as it stands, the major tower does have a scrying room on the upper floor of it,
Oh.
which does
We
count.
also,
Which does count as a focus for the scrying spell.
we
So
also have the Spy Master's own mirror.
that's also true.
True.
There's also maybe there's like a mirror still pond back in the Druid Grove on the back of the castle. Maybe we can use that, like probably like Galadriel, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we have one, so it's fine.
As it stands, like the mirror you got from the spy master, it's not a scrying mirror on its own, though it could be potentially turned into one.
All right.
There is a actual like scrying pool inside the mage's tower, though. That's a static one, but it's there.
Oh, no, I mean, that would work.
Obviously, the purpose of buying a separate one for you, of course, would be nice to have a mobile one that you could move around. But
Yeah.
the static one works for while you're in town.
I don't know how the spell works. Like, can they notice it, or?
Yes. I mean, since either can cast it, I assume he knows the gist of it, Doug, would you say?
If you can cast a spell, you know how the spell works.
Yeah. They can notice it. I'm sure there's protection spells against it or alarm spells. But even the spell itself, if they're able to see invisible things, they will see the effect the scrying spell creates. You basically produce an invisible eye, and that invisible eye can be seen by things that see invisible things.
But they have no way to know where it came from, just that it has been cast upon them, or near them, I guess.
I am not sure. I wouldn't count on anonymity.
Then perhaps at last resort then, if we can't find her. There's no telling it might not work anyway, given wizards and whatever shenanigans they get up to.
Yes, I also have never seen her or barely heard of her. If I had a picture, or better yet, like some hair, that would help a lot, especially the hair.
And if we had that, we'd probably already know where she is, so.
Point is right now. You currently have second-hand knowledge of the target. You have heard of the target, and that's it.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to know that we have the capability for sure, because I that's actually good to know. Probably try it if we can't find her at all. Yeah. We'll see what the council session has for us, and then we'll go from there. I think.
Okay. Yeah. The other update for your group is that the fight at the fort right now is still ongoing and has not been resolved yet. But that's fine. You've got one breach already, which was an early breach, which is pretty good. With that, is there anything in particular the group would like to bring up, investigate, or anything in the meantime, or shall we move to like a meeting situation then?
Can move to the meeting, I think.
Very well. You move forward to the meeting, which also, of course, means welcoming your new royal advisor.
Yes.
As Lord Ander will also now be joining as a official advisor to His Grace.
It's good to have that D4. Actually, what the dice increases by the proficiency, right? So like, what's the progression of that? He's at proficiency 3, so what would that be?
D6.
All right, that's pretty good.
quickly adding in things for him. Do. But very well, your council comes to meet. We'll handle this for tonight. And grab. Again, it's rare that the entire council meets at this point. War means really the only time everyone is in one place is very much the start of each month when kind of gathers. But that is to be expected. This, of course, will be the first time that Isaac will see every member of the council together.
Pretty big now.
The council is fairly sizable.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Also, of course, I need to bring in Royal Scribe Danza.
Yes,
Someone has to take notes of everything that happens.
certainly.
Come here, hoot hoot. As your council kind of all gathers together. Where's Torin? Torin should be here as well. There we go. As the council all gathers, and kind of discussions are all had. We'll go through the quick maintenance phase of the council since that's the quickest part.
Yeah.
First thing is your total income will be applied, so you'll gain 19 extra money. Wait, no, actually, first thing, outcoming. His Grace, you were enforcing control of your realm. Actually, this has to go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had made it your goal to try and crack down on any rebellious tendencies of your people.
Sure.
Can you please roll me your council roll, which is a plus 14 in your case? Let's see how well you managed to crack down the whip.
Oh no.
Whip is not super cracked. 16 is still okay though.
Unrest is lowered by 1, at least.
People like you too much.
They do. Don't respect me anymore.
Oh, he's putting on a hard show here, but he's soft inside.
Old ladies look at him as like, he is such a nice young man.
The reason I had to go first also is because unrest affects the amount of money you're getting, and so that's gone down. You're getting plus 21.
Hey,
Oh, okay, sweet.
press it down,
More
press it
money.
down.
You're at 110 in the treasury now.
That's a dock right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Doc is on the way.
The fleet shall begin. Trade.
Next is recharge, because your Archmage has been, of course, recharging the tower.
Yeah.
Lord Shell can be, after Dock is built, Lord Shell can be named Venture Captain.
Oh boy. This can go so well. Okay. Quickly going through some of the activity. Of course, enforced controls will be handled. Gillian McFrey has something to report for you.
Yes.
Of course, you sent him to the Giants to see if any of them wanted to join your forces.
Right. Why did we send him? Oh well.
We didn't have anyone else left that was
Yeah,
better.
he was-
because it's a military project, and he's the only one in the
You
military.
don't have a lot of military leadership at the moment.
Yeah, he's the only one we have.
low on the military powers there.
Yeah.
Gillian is not the best diplomat in the world.
I'll say.
However,
It says a but.
while Sir McFrey is not the best diplomat in the world, your army can now say it successfully includes 4 rock giants willing to just throw rocks at the defences as if they were siege weapons.
All right. Fair enough. Living Cygors, living siege engines. I'll take them.
Pretty much. Effectively speaking, they each count as a catapult.
Okay.
It's not a lot, but hey, siege engines are always useful.
Someone wanted to, throw some rocks.
Mm-hmm. And thankfully, unlike normal siege engines, these ones don't have a setup time.
Right, so we just walk there and start throwing.
Pretty much. As long as there's something to throw, they can throw it.
And throw the other catapults.
They could, though catapults are expensive. So.
All right, well, good work.
As we already kind of discussed, but the tunnel to Silverswift has been successfully opened properly, and trade has begun to flow through.
Hooray.
It was quite a glorious time, and especially with your new trade focus in the city as well. Business is suddenly booming. The administrative department is gleeful in the fact that your revenue effectively has gone up 500% this term.
Was there like one of those opening ceremonies where the Amunas cut a band for the big scissor?
Sure, if that's what Amnesty wanted, he was there. He was able to declare the road open with a nice banner in Paris.
Exactly. Declare the road open. Personally greet the first caravan coming through. Stuff like that.
The first caravan was bringing through also something the town desperately your people desperately like the idea of
Drugs.
partly drugs and also a very large shipment of fresh fruit.
Hey, I do like the idea of the first shipment coming through, and here's the first shipment. It's just drugs.
It's just a layer of drugs.
Oh,
but we brought 3 melons.
As it turns out,
melons are filled with drugs.
One of the substantial improvements of having better trade access open, especially since Silverswood has a port. A sudden increase in even just the palace's own kitchens, like ability to produce like different kinds of foods.
Hey, can have fresh fruit. No more scurvy.
Because before there's like wild berries that you have to harvest, but like there's limited supply of that compared to now you can just like get shipments in from actual like abroad.
Isaac doesn't have to spend all of his spell slots on good berry.
Isaac still might choose to do that anyway.
He likes berries, I'm told.
I wonder if you could turn good berries into a punch.
Worth a try.
Depends how long it takes. I might lose the magic before it's done.
That's a different spell. That's punch berries.
Oh, it's a melee spell.
Eliza's festival went great. She also lowered unrest again.
Oh, nice.
Everyone likes Eliza.
More money.
And your unrest drops down to 1.
That's good.
Also adding another 2 to the treasure. In addition to the festival going particularly great, as it turns out with that, there has been some keen interest as a result down in Eliza's own territory, as Vanterheim, her province, has actually gained a tiny bit of extra income to it.
Hooray.
Which is kind of nice. It's not enough to boost your income, but it is boosting Eliza's coffers slightly, which in turn will sort of help you.
That's good.
So it wasn't enough to put them over the threshold of paying more taxes to you. Not quite. Almost. Fine. In future, they'll be on the next for tax threshold. Next up was the project you said. You let Raiden loose in the workshop and telling him build automata.
Yes.
Build me an army worthy of Mordor.
Well, it's only a very basic army he has been working on. He has certainly been at work producing some automata. Though admittedly, the ones he's produced at the first here are not the most war-minded ones in the world, though they are still very useful to your cause, nonetheless. As you see, he's produced a whole bunch of small little construct drones capable of scouting around for your forces.
Oh, that's cool.
Essentially utilizing a very basic levitation spell and just letting them kind of float around as a essentially mechanical eyeball. So that would definitely help your forces in terms of scouting and just generally improve your people's effectiveness in the field. In addition, this also provides a +1 bonus to all of security.
Ooh.
Because now all of security has a couple of clockwork drones lying around.
-1 to privacy.
Do you need privacy?
If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear.
Oh no, no!
They build a big pyramid in the middle of the city with an eye on top
Here
of it.
comes the slippery slope.
Raiden kind of took the construct automata down a personal route when he was working on this one. But it was still a decent outcome. Vicus,
Yeah.
would you like to give me a roll as spy master for me at +20?
+20. I'll do that.
That is your total bonus before the spy drones.
Sweet. I'll take that.
Spy drones. I think you just got a single personal one for yourself, but do use.
Oops. Well, my familiar did it, but it's the same as if I did it. It's fine.
Nyx is an excellent counselor, as you understand.
Yes. He has opinions.
Nyx's opinion is you have an amazing spy network.
Awesome.
As it turns out, you have managed to go through and kind of quickly build yourself a contact network. Doubly so, pulling on some of the now destroyed contact networks, which are like, hello? Hello, Belmont? Belmont?
Yes. Come work for me instead.
Because establishing quite a strong spy network in throughout all of your claimed realm.
All right. Success.
And even to a degree, making some friendship with the Duchess's spy network to a degree.
Okay.
But obviously, that one will remain contingent on you being allies.
I see.
Share information while it's beneficial to the two of you.
Yes.
And this will open up significantly more projects for Vickers as you now have access to spies.
Yay.
Spies are useful.
Spies are fun.
There has been research on Zolzir going on from our High Sage CL.
Yep.
As Sage, please go ahead and roll me your +13 bonus. In addition, since you're doing a research project and you're the Sage, you get an extra +4.
Which +4 also?
Because it just turns out sages and research kind of go together.
It's a good roll, I guess.
You have been doing deep, in-depth research into the great sword known as Zol. It's a potent magical weapon, of course, as you've well known to this point. It has some lightning damage, can stun foes on a hit, but it is an old weapon, as the giants had alluded to. You've come to understand its construction better, actually finding some old diagrams from back in the olden days when it was first being forged. Tracking them down in Just kind of like this old, like tribal library you ended up finding during one of your trips. Or more likely, you probably sent Danza to go on the trip there.
No, Dancer will be here. Sia will go.
You go on the exciting trip. He does the paperwork. Understood.
Yes. That is how it works.
Of course.
At least that's how Sia says it works.
Of course. With this information, you come to see that Zolze does have an extra property to it that is dormant, at least in the script that you understand. That Zolze, in theory, should be capable. While the Zolze that His Grace currently has, it is a weakened state. If it was having its full power, might be capable of affecting the weather. Doing a mild version of control weather to bring down, say, a thunderstorm, or to clear the skies of said one, or a rainstorm, etc. Can't go for a full like tornado or gale, but still.
Oh, great. So Amanas gets to have his dramatic entrances?
If the sword is at its full power, potentially.
I can already call lightning with it.
Yes, you can already use the Call Lightning spell with it.
You could control the weather to have a lightning storm follow him as he goes to a city, and then has like the lightning bolt like blow open the front doors.
I am the Storm Lord.
My God.
With this new information, Seal does think it'd be possible if you did choose to reforge Zolzir to try and incorporate this hidden talent into whatever your new object is.
Sweet, that's what I wanted. So.
Yep, perfect.
Though you would still have to figure out how to unlock it, but at least you could still transfer its property across.
Hey.
So.
Good.
Finally, for Ceres.
For me.
Your aunt has been busy slowly making you a grimoire.
Mm-hmm.
As to my understanding, you wanted an object of power.
Yeah. Very much.
And you would elect and paid the price for a rare grimoire, a +2 bonus.
The very same.
As your aunt will walk over to you, her heels clacking against the stonework as she approaches, and summons out from her own bag of holding for you the mystical book that she has created. It is a odd grimoire, having this kind of like icy blue cover to it, but then having like these kind of slight flecks of like red and orange that, as Ciel kind of takes it, it almost seems. Sarah's takes it. It only seems like it shifts with her mood slightly, and so it's slight bits of fey energy that she has infused into the book with it.
Sucker for the dramatic.
As yes, she has made you a custom grimoire. You will be able to name the grimoire yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It is your book after all. You get to give it a dramatically fancy name.
I'll have to ponder on that one.
Yes. And I will discuss the stats with you actually in private. But for now, though, you have a +2 grimoire, and the extra effect I'll let you know in a bit.
All right.
Your fancy book has finished its construction.
Ah, Sarah's gonna break the universe again. I mean,
I'm not a sorcerer anymore. You can't keep comparing me to a reference.
I will say the inside cover does have a very loving message. Also calling you an idiot for what you previously did.
That's great.
That's a permanent reminder in there.
Permanent.
Okay. With that, however, the council are all in discussion, and Field Marshal Sir McFrey would also like to inform the council of other good news.
Yes.
He has been having his forces loot.
Ooh,
Oh.
pillage.
You look, you're attacking Elsend. You didn't tell him not to pillage.
True.
I mean, it's very accurate. And armies are very happy when they're loot.
Who wants to roll the pillaging roll for me? Anyone can do it, so I don't mind who.
Sure. What do you need? D20?
Go ahead and roll me 3d6.
3d6. Okay. 13.
Hey, pretty good.
Not bad. And his proficiency is +3. 16 extra for the treasury.
Oh, nice.
Aha!
All right.
Because a war can be profitable sometimes.
Yes,
Look
indeed.
in there. I've never seen this much money.
You have 128 in the treasury.
And 28. What are we going to do with all of this money?
Sit on top of it like a dragon.
Oh my gosh.
As you have your vast hoard of wealth, lumber, and stone.
I believe as
Well-
far as the rules of dungeons go, if we acquire enough money, we will attract the dragon.
It's true. The dragon shows up.
The rules of dungeonization do say if your treasure eventually that will summon a dragon. True.
Maybe we could put up a job notice. Wanted dragon to guard treasure.
You first have to parlay with the dragons.
We are friends with dragon. We are renowned friends with dragon. There's dragonborns on the payroll. We have a kobold as a scribe. We know a half dragon.
Yep.
One of those
There-
is a secret.
We're pro dragon over here.
As an apologies from your meeting, Viella, your new toxicologist, does not attend your first council meeting.
Roll for the best.
She cites when asked by the scribe stomach issues. The reality, of course, is she does not yet have human disguise in place and does not want to scare everyone to death.
All right.
Because probably having the Medusa walk in might scare people. They walk in Slytherin.
Slithering, yeah.
Just has a tail, so. Probably best for her not to be out in broad daylight until she has that disguise ready.
Yep. I agree.
With that, however, the council is abuzz with various ideas. As there is much to do. Obviously, you now have your new royal advisor who has settled into his job now as well. As a reminder, the royal advisor has a special, which is for anyone who's doing a dice roll, the royal advisor can give one person an extra d6 as he basically just oversees someone else's work.
That's
Yes.
good.
Being Amnes's eyes even when Amnes isn't there.
So I have a question, Dark.
Yes.
Now that I've established a spy network, is using it still an action from me, or can I use it independently of the council stuff?
So you can send your spy network to independently do small projects on the side for yourself now.
Okay.
In addition, your spy network does amplify council projects you're doing as well now.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So if you're doing something that is a much larger reach project, they'll be able to help as well.
Okay.
One option I will say is on the table as a possible security project is as spy master you do have the option of study target.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest maybe doing that for our Little Miss Hare. If I personally look into her. Unless
Well-
anyone has any objections to me taking that project.
All right, go ahead.
We do have the golem situation as well, though, so I don't know if that's how we can deal with that.
Something to be considered.
But I would certainly put myself down as a preliminary. And if something comes up that's more important, we can always swap it out.
Study target Elaine Reinhardt. See if you
Yes.
can locate her before that's done.
Yeah.
Yes, things are somewhat abuzz in the council with various ideas. As it stands, you have various projects to do, and some suggestions as well for other things that could be done at the moment. As it stands, it doesn't seem like parley is currently on the table with the enemy.
No.
No.
So we'll cross that one off as even being a suggestion for the moment. Just going through to see if anyone's got any particular suggestions that need to be raised up. Yes. Lord Ander has a special project that he's going to propose on the table docket as an option.
All right.
Yeah.
Given that he is now working for your domain, and that his cousin is being so unjust as he is, perhaps, though Ander's not normally one for like the whole political intrigue mess, he could potentially in Amanus's stead reach out to some of his and the Duke's other cousins further afield and try to get foreign support for you.
Huh.
Sure. Why not? It's a good first project for him to show show how good he is, basically. I say do it.
I'll mark that down as Lord Anders' leadership, which actually means for once, Amanus, you don't have to be in charge of a project this month.
Hey.
You still can be. You don't have to be anymore.
Yeah, I still will be. Probably. Because I will construct a building. I'll construct that gosh darn dock, I think.
I mean, that is actually something you could do in theory. So
Yes.
You wanna do that personally, or
Yeah.
sure?
So you want to use the free construction project yourself.
The thing is, like, reappoint council, recruit council, enforce control. Those are generally what I do.
Yes.
Otherwise, and we don't need to enforce control really. Recruiting a counselor, I mean, could go look for a priest potentially, I suppose. But if no one, I feel like everyone else has interesting projects to run, and then I can take the boring one, which is like just constructing the dock.
So you want to refurbish the Highland docks then?
It would be the most ostentatious of docks.
I like how Amanus just taking like a very frontline role on this.
Yeah, no, he's it's a big. It's like that pirate town in Stranglethorn Vale. It needs to be like a huge statue of himself, like in the inlet.
This will cost the treasury 100 treasury bucks.
I think it's worth it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's
Just the trade alone.
It will open a new holding in the Highlands territory, which also means direct taxation to you instead of vassal taxation.
Yep.
And of course, it opens up a port.
We will do it.
And Silver Swift is far more geared towards naval trade as far as.
Yeah. This will be something Amanus will get covered because since Amanus is leading the project, he'll get to make the decision on exactly how the port is stylized, but we'll deal with that. Essentially, you're building a port town. This will be fun.
Dread
Hooray.
to 45 next time is what I'm hearing.
The Northern Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was just thinking Warhammer like town.
Yeah, Dark Elf.
Gillian, hearing that Freyfrost might be under direct attack, his proposed project is reinforcing Freyfrost City personally. An extra project option.
I mean, that's a good for military.
I mean, that makes the most sense because, like, we know that they're gonna attack from the back with the golem. So.
Oh, Alternatively, however, he also posed the other project, which is you can probably hold like this. So, special project to just do since you now have a breach inside of the Duke's lands, to start intercepting and stealing his trade.
Doing banditry.
He would not call it banditry.
I mean, it is though.
It's a foreign blockade by land.
I mean, I'm not calling it banditry because I want to put a negative connotation on it. I'm just calling it as it is.
Depriving your enemy of resources.
Yeah. Like banditry does. Except you wear fancy uniforms while doing it.
So should we send him off to reinforce, or should we send him to intercept?
Yeah. Obviously, you also have the standard things that you could have him try to do training of more troops or promoting of units. But yeah, obviously, yeah, the two options he can think of for you is either sending more forces to try and defend and reinforce Freyfrost, or just start intercepting enemy trade and just start stealing from them.
Yeah, I mean, we know weird golems are coming, so maybe reinforcing some on the Freyfrost side is a good idea.
Yeah, I would say reinforcing because they just had their festival, and if they now get attacked by golems, it might just plummet morale and stuff.
Yeah,
Reinforced it is.
and we have intel, so it's not like it's going to waste. Like, we know what is happening, so
Might as well act on it now that we have it.
yep. Admin.
Yes, the various administrative projects.
I mean you're building the dock already.
Well, there are various things that are possibilities here. As it stands, though, some options.
The emergency stockyard was like a winter thing. Forget what that was for.
I think that's if we got blockaded in by their forces and couldn't go anywhere. Right?
Yeah,
Or something.
Yeah, this was the emergency stockyard is in the event that would basically be creating extra stock up of resources in the event that
We get sieged.
you are under siege, basically.
Expand Sorkai. I don't know. Do we need to expand it? I don't feel we're reaching our potential quite yet.
And one option that is brought up to you by Rochelle is, given you've got so much more access to trade now, you could try to seek out a specialist craftsman in case you want a foreign artisan here.
Ah, yes. This
That might
is
be good.
you can now have a crafting shop by royal appointment. You can have Amanas's closed iron fist on his goods.
Well, the thing is also you can also royal assent businesses as an option. Basically, just saying, yes, we're going to sponsor this business person. Say, this is the royal tailors.
I am Amanas, and this is my favorite tailor on the station.
Which will slightly encourage an improvement of quality from businesses in hopes of being appointed as the royal item of choice.
Right.
Certainly. Seek a specialist artisan. That seems useful.
I think so too. We need to get some.
I like an artisan.
Artisans are good. So the spooky lady that found the armor for Amanus, does she do things on her own time, like not council stuff, or?
She's not on the council now.
She is not on the council. if the council wishes to employ their services, any of the actual project groups can actually go ahead and say, yes, can we have you go and archaeologize for us?
Okay. And that doesn't take anyone's time. It's just you ask her to do it. Or does it?
You'll still need a spare person to do it.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't take up a full slot. You'll still need a councillor to be dedicated.
Right, they'd just be disposed, but not as. Yeah, I gotcha.
You always have enough councillors. It's just a case of which department though do you pull them from.
Okay. I see.
The other thing that is brought up through a bit of a bickering back and forth, but Mazzara actually brings this up, which is the tax legislation right now is clearly not up to par.
Okay.
Mazzara, in her slightly lawful evil tendencies, says she thinks of various ways that clearly the Treasury Department should be able to squeeze a little bit extra money out by, closing some legal loopholes and creating others when needed.
I mean, this certainly speaks to me.
So that also adds on the extra project of rewrite tax legislation.
Well, it's either tax legislation or the artisan.
Either that, or you can still just levy special taxes if you just want to hey, go get us more money.
I think the artisan is good. We need some specialized goods, I think.
All right, forward with the artisan. That's what we pick.
Well, speak of special artisan. Would you like to have Percy Penwick, Rochelle, or CL in charge of that project?
I mean, CL, do you want to do that, or do you want to do something else?
I mean, do we have any research that we're gonna do, or it's like
It's a ton of research potentially.
We free ones, so you can pick one if you want.
like I would recommend like Rochelle for this administration desk
Yeah.
because CL could seek people, but do you want people that CL seek?
Be like really weird. like, all right,
That's
sure.
fair.
Rochelle has a good nose for business. She can find a profitable artisan probably.
Yeah. All right, and then we have diplomatic.
Yes, diplomatic adventures at the moment.
Or was the provoke?
Provoke Daredevil.
Trying to essentially go to Daredevil and trying to implore them to directly engage with Alcen's forces.
I don't know. Would create some chaos. I like that.
You also have the option of trying to reach out to the orcs.
No, I don't think so. Well, what do you think, Halldamir? You're the...
Or now you have access to ports by proxy of, again, the trade route that's now open. You could try to seek foreign investment.
Foreign investment doesn't sound too...
It's gonna be an American banana company. It comes in and starts like torturing us.
Oh no.
In addition to all the standard stuff that you can do as a diplomat.
Yeah.
Gathering rumors, fabricating claims, so on and so forth. Only thing you can't do is a request sanctions since you still don't have a priest.
No. If I'm honest, I don't know. Like, provoking Daredevil could be interesting, but I don't think they need much more of a shove, really.
They already provided you some foreign aid previously.
Exactly. Do we really need noble funding? We seem to be doing okay right now.
More trade is good.
Money is always
giant.
useful.
Yeah, not from foreign investment, but maybe giants, I guess.
Yeah,
Didn't have things to trade. I guess they have like a mammoth or something they hunt, maybe.
Yeah. And they probably know stuff about Sorkai as well, right? Because they've lived here for a bit, so...
Maybe. I thought they were kind of dumb though.
No, they weren't. They were pretty smart.
They're pretty smart, yeah.
You're
There's
thinking
all-
of trolls, my kings.
Hmm.
Yeah. And of course, you're always free to suggest your own projects, but these are the ones that are being suggested by the council for you.
I mean, I still want to research my staff, but that can come later.
What was that?
Researching my staff, but that would come after the realms.
Yeah, I mean, you can have Mikara do it for you
I could, yeah.
as like the free research, or just the mystical project in general. It's up to you.
Yeah, well then that's the thing, is if we want Makara to do something else.
Or, yeah, you've got various options here on the table.
Yeah, there's quite a lot.
You
going
can
on.
skip Diplomatic and come back to it later if you want to.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Very well. Which mystical is the next category at the moment. Which given the current climate of things, one option you do have on the table, you could poison the ley lines they're using, though it's kind of a drastic measure.
Yeah, that
No, I
seems
don't
awful.
think so.
Interesting challenge for our Medusa. How do you poison ley line?
Oh god.
We will
Corrupt
never
the
know.
magic.
I have constructed something called the Blight Burn, my king.
Medusa has been stung to death by a giant scorpion, and no one knows why.
That scorpion burst in. It kicked down the door. It was very weird.
Hmm.
You now also have the option of
Unfortunate accident.
you also now have the option of seeking out Scoldy mystics.
Ooh.
Hmm.
What's
Did
wrong
you-
with Scalding Mystics?
Since you have one of their dark mages here, you can potentially, reach out and see what.
Dark mages.
Oh yeah, that's I remember now an idea I had. Well, all right, keep going. I'll mention it in a sec.
I mean, for the mystical project, I sort of just want to do the scry for secrets and see what happens, because I have no idea what that might even result in.
That is
Yeah.
also an option on the table, which is you could let your new Granseer try to scry.
Do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that does.
Bring
No
me
one
dread
does.
secrets.
Well, it kind of just comes to you. You don't ask for like specifics, right? So
Exactly.
Bring forth the Palantir.
Very well. Isaac shall direct the magical power of the council to whatever he does.
can he use the tower mana for that? Like, or
He can use the tower as a focus. He doesn't so much use the mana of the tower for it.
all right, okay,
Though we'll get there when we get there. So that gets interesting.
okay.
Which leaves the free research project, the free possible artificing project, and the diplomatic project.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess research. Did you have something in mind, Isa, for researching for CL, or?
Nothing special. Like the magical construction technique would be the one that I would be going, but I
Yeah.
can just go with Halldamir going with his stuff.
What do you think, Halldamir?
I mean,
You could have Makar do the research, and then you could do a diplomatic thing yourself, or
yeah, I think that'd probably be the way to go.
You want to research for the Ever Frozen.
Yes.
and then I believe, as for artifice, we wanted to reforge Zolzir now that we can maintain its like property that we've discovered, right?
I think so.
Reforging Soul Series is certainly something I would like.
Yeah, I'll put it in there. I mean, not got nothing else immediately pressing.
Okay, reforging Zolzir will be an interesting project then.
All right, cool. Who do we want to put on? Obviously, Raiden, I guess.
If Makara's doing research, Ryden's literally the only person left who can.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, Makar would be the best to research a like an Archon item, and actually reforging something seems like the Royal Forge Master's deal. So, yeah.
Sure, artifice can only be done by the mystical group, so
Yeah.
The yes, you have from long ago received my my wish for the reforging of Soulseer.
yeah. But
Yeah,
but let's now confirm. We're just going to need to confirm properly now. What exactly you would like done, so it's on the record here.
Yeah.
Yes. Soulseer, I wish to, because I have future plans to pick up another feat, and with Sentinel already picked up, I wish to move from a great sword to a polearm, specifically a halberd. So I can have a bigger range in covering people and doing interruption attacks, and like stopping enemies to get past me. So reforging Soulseer as a halberd. Also, originally the plan was to combine the magical properties of Soulseer with Amanat's own like terrifying dread aura, basically giving it the properties of a Mace of Terror, but as a halberd. So like a +1 halberd of terror with some of the lightning properties of Soul.
That is a option.
Would be reforged as the Storm of Terror.
Yes, this is certainly an option that is on the table. It will definitely eat some power attempting to do this.
Yes.
Let me see here. So it's staying with a +1 weapon, but you need it to. But you're gaining on the. You're reforging the weapon type and adding on the new properties of the Mace of Terror. Okay. The new weapon will lose some of Zolzir's properties, though not all of them. It will not, for example, have the ability to stun anymore on a crit.
All right. Fair
Depends
enough.
how often that comes up.
It's come up once or twice, maybe.
It can, but in return, it can retain its spell-like abilities of Core Lightning, and eventually, when you figure out how to unlock it, Weather Control. Okay, in which case that raises this up to being. Oof. Okay. This reforging will cost 7 mana from the tower.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
And will also require a gold investment
Yes.
of about 600 gold pieces.
I will pay it.
All right.
Very well.
So I have to go, but I wanted to float this idea. If someone isn't using the Scaldy Mystic that we have to find something, I would like to ask her to find something. Not me though, because I'm busy. But maybe I can ask Mizara to do me a favor. And also maybe if Theo wants to go with her, because he's asking her if she can find some sort of perhaps Scaldy armor or something, because they had been in the tomb with like the old Scaldy. I don't know if he was a king or some reputable person, but they have some element of psychic power to some of them.
Some of them did, yes.
So if she could find something that has some remnant of that, that would be pretty cool. And maybe Theo can go with her because he has some sensitivity to it, perhaps.
I accept that as a special project to send Mazara on.
All right. Awesome. But yes, I have to pop off, so I will chat to you folks later. Bye bye.
Bye, Valky.
Which leaves the diplomatic project as the last one on this list that will need to be signed off on for the council meeting.
Yeah. I.
Also, because I forgot that was someone who posted in the chat, so Valky sees it as well. As a new month started, please take gold equal to 20 times your level. What's your level? 9. So 180 gold pieces each,
All right.
which is basically just your salary from being the king. Yeah.
I love being the king.
You guys all get a paycheck for being on the council.
I shall add, removed 600, add 180. There we go.
This is assuming this is the money you get without embezzling.
Hey.
You can still choose to embezzle, but that's a different issue. Yes. What the question? What will diplomatic corps do, Cyrus?
Yeah, I can't decide between the trade with the giants, because I wonder if that would be actually quite interesting. Or, I mean, ultimately, our war seems to be going decent well.
Alternatively, you could always summon courtiers and try to summon a certain kind of person here.
Could, but I'm looking at I looked at the list, and really the only things that we're missing, like the royal chaplain and like the military attaché.
Unless you wanted to try and get another bride for Amanus.
No.
Kind of love that idea.
I mean,
actually.
you have the cockpit position open.
You'll have to, like, in ancient times, you painted a portrait of him in secret and send it around to different
Send
princesses.
it around, yeah. I'll send it to the other empire. It's kind of tempting. It would be hilarious. But no, I'm basically tossing up between provoking Daredevil, just making this a grand slam, or trading with the giants. And realistically, trading with the giants is only for morbid curiosity of what they can offer us.
What's the more interesting option, do you think?
Realistically, Ceres probably doesn't care about the giants. They're kind of interesting, but they're not that interesting. And she's been working the Daredevil hook for months.
Alternatively, there is another option you could try, of course. Provoking Daredevil is not on the list. Other option, there could be other things you want to do with Daredevil, of course.
Mm-hmm.
For example, just one that came to my head, state dinner with Daredevil.
Oh, that could be interesting. I think Ceres would lean on that more than provoking the action. She wants it to be their idea. Make closer allies when they think it's their idea.
The last option I suppose you can have is a slander the Duke.
Ah, that's boring. He's slandering himself.
Point is, if it's a suggestion on the table.
It is. I like the state dinner. Using it. Yeah, I think that Ceres would aim for that. He's been in communication with them since succession.
And he seems happy enough at the moment that it may be possible to invite him for dinner. Wouldn't that be grand?
That could be good fun.
Of course, the state dinner will require Amanus to sit down for the dinner, but you can manage that.
I'll trick him into it. Shows up in armor anyway.
He might show up in armor, but he can still sit down for food.
Yeah. My lord, I thought I saw an assassin. Quickly, follow me. Oh, there's a dinner. Sorry, I forgot to mention that actually.
Did I say assassin? I thought I said feast.
Assortment is what I really said.
assassin assault, but I get them mixed up all the time. Very well. With that, we're not going to go too much further because obviously Valky's had to go, and we're just kind of establishing the council's position so we have a good grasp on it for the moment. But your council is in solid position. Is everyone happy with the projects as they're assigned on there? Can
I'm
anyone?
fine.
I am, yeah.
I was going to get worried. It gets very quiet. Like, am I disconnected again?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm curious what's gonna come from that, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to get something out of the Scribe for Secrets. I've actually been looking forward to this one. This will be quite good.
Be your Cthulhu campaign now. So you've cried too much. Oh no!
He's seen into the darkness. The darkness
Yes,
has looked
yes.
back.
Exactly. Seen
The
the
secret is that Duke of Elsend is actually Amoness's father.
Oh
Wow.
god.
that would be quite the shock.
You know, the timeline is very weird there, but who knows?
Thirst would be very confused. She was at the funeral.
Drift in the timeline.
Who did she
Fake
bury?
is death. Yeah, exactly. It's like goddamn like soap opera.
We will see about the soap opera. Okay. Let's finally lock all those in. Excellent. I will save Viela's toxicology report / petition for next time when Valky's back. Very well. Halldamir, I will speak to you. I'll speak to you shortly in the coming days about exactly about your grimoire.
Sounds good to me. See what?
Also, I'm somewhat sad that Amos did not choose to instead combine Zolzir with the Trident Fish Command.
Would it be raining lightning charged fish if I did?
I mean, that's potentially an option.
Because if it does, then I might reconsider.
Be weighted towards lightning fish appealing from the sky.
The storm mackerel.
If you can get really good at what fish you can call, maybe like storm swordfish would be an interesting combination.
Oh yeah, it's a fish shaped like a sword. That also. Well, remember the carp that attacked us.
That's
you know?
true.
Instead of the sleet storm spell, you have the salmon storm spell.
Salmon storm spell.
Salmon
Yeah.
storm, yeah. Whale storm, that would be deadly.
Common electric eel. They aren't originally electric, but they are eels that
They're
are
just-
also electric.
It's just an eel that's electrified. It's not actually an electric eel.
Like speaking of one of the weirdest and strangest creatures that exist on this goddamn planet is the electric eel. Like I don't understand anything.
Yeah, he's fascinating.
I will say, I have studied biology. I've studied biology of electric eels, and I still barely understand it. I kind of do. It's weird.
I stunned. That's
honestly,
what I am.
honestly, what confused me the most is why the hell did evolution come up with this design?
Yeah.
It is so
Right.
weird. Electric eel is so
Like,
weird.
I understand the physics and like chemistry behind how it works, but I don't understand why. Is it useful for them? Sure, but how did you get here?
Yeah, how did this end up happening?
But yes,
I mean, you say that electric eels are really weird, but have you ever seen a giraffe?
That's true. Honestly,
I have hand fed a giraffe.
compare a unicorn to a giraffe, and realistically, a unicorn isn't far-fetched. Giraffe, very much.
I understand how giraffes came to be, though it's still though the anatomy is completely hilarious. they have a single nerve, which is largely like it's only a couple of cells that stretch down the entire length of the neck and then back up again.
Ridiculous.
Because the way nanobiology works is we all have like a nerve ending that runs down to the bottom of our neck and then back up again.
Sure.
Because giraffes essentially have stretched their necks out of evolution, that nerve is getting stretched longer and longer and longer and longer.
Or giraffe.
So that nerve is a solid like 4 meters long for a single nerve. It's kind of silly. It's an important one too. You need it for like swallowing and stuff. So. But yeah.
All right, I'm gonna end the stream here on that.
Yes, we're rambling on things still, but